sky so crystal clear, never walked on grass so green. And in the stands where they clap their hands, well, I can feel it in my chest. And they come from almost every state to find out who's the best.
LSU wins the College World Series! Gone! A grand slam homer! Stanford wins!
They play the game, 1,000 names you've never heard before. Yeah, but don't forget a single face. You can see that ball again. And somewhere down the road you might say, hey, I remember when.
Mark Pryor played in the College World Series.
Chris Burke played in the College World Series.
When it feels like it might be time, somebody gives this game a rise. Throw me one across the plate, man, I put it in another state.
It's gone! A grand slam! Holy cow!
When it all comes down to the final round, I'll be right here on this hill. Yeah, me and the boys gonna make some noise and give this crowd a thrill. So raise that flag, sing that song, and throw me out a brand new ball. And there's nowhere I'd rather be than back home in Omaha.
Welcome to Omaha, Nebraska for the 55th edition of the College World Series, and for the first time ever, the Nebraska Cornhuskers are in the field of 8. They'll face the top seed, Cal State Fullerton. Big Red fans started lining up for tickets on Wednesday morning, and as you might expect, demand is at an all-time high for the precious few seats that were left for sale. And only the patient diehards would get the opportunity to see their beloved Huskers in person. Let's look at the field for the series. It's an 18 double elimination format until the championship game. Earlier this afternoon, Stanford beat Tulane 13-11 to move into the winner's bracket to face tonight's winner on Sunday. Tomorrow afternoon, Georgia takes on USC, and in the night session, it's Tennessee against Miami. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick along with Harold Reynolds. It's great to have you with us from the College World Series. Omaha and Lincoln are 50 miles apart, but make no mistake about it. This is going to seem like a Nebraska home game tonight. Their fans will dominate this huge crowd. They want to get off to a fast start, too. Their leading average hitter, John Cole, at .417 is the leadoff man, but he just sets the table for Big Dan Johnson.
Yeah, Dan Johnson's something special. Big guys got power to drive in from anywhere on the diamond. 360 and 24 home runs this year. He likes to try to play with the middle of the field. He doesn't like to hook the ball. He will see some balls go in, and he'll hit left-handers also. And he is the key to their offense.
Cal State Fullerton can hit very well as well, but they have a dominant pitching staff. Maybe the big surprise, their All-American right-hander Kurt Sarlos will not start tonight. He'll be next in the rotation. He is 15-2 this year. Instead of their ace, the right-hander Sarlos, they'll go with 10-2, John Smith.
Yeah, not a bad trade-off, but you got to remember, John Smith, the left-hander, is on his normal day of the rotation. Cal State Fullerton feels like if we can't win with this guy, we're not going to win this tournament anyway. You got to have at least 2 pitchers. The other note, though, is Nebraska, 124 stolen bases and 137 attempts. That's 90%. The left-hander is going to try to shut that down.
As you can hear, it is an electric atmosphere here in Omaha, and the Cornhuskers from Nebraska are hoping to cap off an already exciting day. Earlier, we were honored with the presence of George W. Bush, the President of the United States. He threw out the first pitch.
There's a dream in every glove, there's a wish on every ball. And once again,
Welcome back to Omaha, Nebraska. And the Huskers head coach Dave Van Horn, now in his 4th year. The last 2 seasons have been the best in school history. Here is his lineup.
John Cole, Ottawa, Ontario, capital of Canada.
Adam Stern, London, Ontario. Friends call me Blackjack.
Matt Hopper, Morrison, Colorado, home of Coors Field.
Dan Johnson from Coon Rapids, Minnesota.
Jeff Blevins, Sand Springs, Oklahoma.
Josh Hesse, Omaha, Nebraska, home of the College World Series.
Jed Morris, Seabrook, Texas.
Will Bolt, Conroe, Texas. Jeff Lizey from Omaha, Nebraska, and people call me the Cowboy.
The Cowboy. A couple Canadians in the lineup, pretty interesting, but the one guy to stand out was the number 4 hitter, Hopper. We talked about Dan Johnson, but Hopper yesterday in batting practice, mad power. I mean, challenging to win. He's going to be exciting to watch.
Both hitting over 350. Take a look at the umpiring crew for tonight's game. Behind the plate, Paul Gillier, Ron Sebastian will be at first, Ken Eldridge at second base, and manning third is Gus Rodriguez. An honor for them as well as Cal State Fullerton takes the field. And the Titans, who come into this game at 46-16, the number 1 seed, will go to the left-hander John Smith.
My name's John Smith. I'm from Nuevo, California. I'm a senior left-handed pitcher. I'm excited to be out here for my 2nd trip to the College World Series. I throw a fastball, changeup, and slider, and I'm excited. I like our chances.
Well, he talked about his fastball, Mike, and he will dominate a game with his fastball throws. He will throw to all 4 corners, up high, up low, up and in, down and in. He will bring a lot of heat, and it's interesting because most left-handers like to turn the ball over. He'll come after you.
Harold, we talked about the pitching that Cal State Fullerton has, the hitting. They've got a pretty good defensive lineup as well.
Yeah, the shortstop, Mike Rossi, he is the key. He settled down. He's only a sophomore. Finally got a chance to play and catch ground balls. He settled in. He was a little nervous at the beginning of the year. I said Rossi. It's actually Rouse, Mike Rouse. And he's been consistent. And as the shortstop goes, so does your team.
He's made only 6 errors in his last 42 ball games. And we are set to go after a record opening game that went 4 hours and 18 minutes. A 13-11 comeback win by Stanford.
I did 3 innings of that game. I was wore out. I said, forget it. I'm out of here.
In case you didn't see it, Harold Reynolds is apparently the best friend of the President of the United States.
Well, I go back a long way to President Bush when he was the owner of the Texas Rangers. And got a chance to visit with him. They hadn't seen him in a while.
John Cole will stand in, the leading hitter for this ball club, at .417 with 9 home runs and 59 RBIs. Not the kind of numbers that you would look for in a typical leadoff hitter, but he is also an excellent base stealer.
He's a great athlete, Mike. We'll talk about him a little bit when he goes on defense, but he started 15 games at second base this year and is starting his 39th or 40th game actually this year in left field. So pretty impressive young man, very versatile.
They switch their lineup all over the place depending on whether it's a left or a right fielder starting. And Smith falls behind early, 2-0.
It's interesting, you might have seen on the catcher Brett Kay his fingers. In a night game, sometimes tough to pick up. You see the chalk on his fingers, that's the signs he'll give. Right there, no need for a sign. I'm coming with the fastball. We need a strike.
2-1 to the opening batter. And all these Cornhusker fans are ready to hoot and holler. Low with the fastball, 3-1. Normally, the College World Series crowd is pretty well divided. Back in '91 when Creighton was here, it was certainly a case of home team favoritism, but it is a sea of red tonight, and they are certainly going to be rooting for Nebraska. Here's the 3-1 swing and a miss.
Well, every kid in the country plays to get to the College World Series. And obviously this is a Nebraska crowd, but what an excitement to just be able to play in front of a crowd like this for even the Cal State Fullerton kids. It's exciting. It's great for baseball.
Smith, who is a fastball pitcher, has thrown nothing but so far. There's a fastball right down the middle, called strike 3.
Well, and that's what talked about in the open. He will challenge you. He'll come on the inside half. He'll go outside. He'll pitch up and he'll pitch down. But he will use that fastball.
Adam Stern at 292, the left-hander stands in. He's the starting right fielder. And if they get the top of the order on, they can do some damage because Cole and Stern both excellent base runners.
Right, the closest one ball has come to us ever.
Right back over us, just over us.
No play though. Ready. We had all the tools. I was ready to grab a glove.
Didn't you bail on one last year, as I recall?
It's hit too hard, man.
Good reason. 0-1. Stern. Fastball is high. Smith will get it into the low 90s, and that's about it. But he can go anywhere in the zone with it. It's one of those rising fastballs that has some good hop on it at the end. Jammed him with a fastball, and Stern did not get a good cut. 1-2.
Stern is also first-team academic all Big 12, which is pretty impressive. Well-rounded young man.
Hit down the left field line, shallow. Rouse goes out. Guzman comes in. Guzman will make the play. 2 gone. Here's how Nebraska got to Omaha for the first time ever. They had the advantage of playing the regionals and the super regionals at home. And they won their last 5 games, all 5 in fact, in the NCAA playoffs, sweeping Rice in the super regionals, winning the championship game 9-6 in 10 innings. So they are undefeated in NCAA play. And now Matt Hopper stands in with 2 out and no run, the 3-hitter hitting .366 this year.
Well, the way Smith is throwing, you want to see the right-hander go ahead and try to get something started for your offense. Tremendous power out of this young man.
Fastball chopped off the third, foul. Hopper made the second team All Midwest Regional and was first team All Conference in the Big 12. 84 runs batted in. And that's in 64 team games. So he has been extremely productive. And right behind him, Johnson with 85. Swing and a miss.
I think it's interesting, as he came to Nebraska, he put on 30 pounds during his redshirt freshman season. That's going to beef up anybody's stats and when you put that kind of beef on you.
He's been hanging out with those football players in the weight room.
They have the luxury of using that too. The football program, baseball program, they all get along very well.
1-2. Fastball just missed low. 2-2. 2 out and nobody on. Top of the first.
What a big advantage to be able to use the football facilities like they do at Nebraska.
Well, especially with the facilities they have. State of the art, always has been. They were one of the first college football teams that really emphasized weightlifting. And of course, they get some pretty big bodies in there to start.
Yeah, it was amazing talking to Coach Dave Van Horn about the program. He feels like they get more done in the offseason indoors because of the facilities. They practice in the football hangar that is a full length of a football field. They can do everything but hit high fly balls. I mean, that's amazing to think about.
John Smith delivers the 2-2 high fastball, full count on Hopper, who was the DH.
By far the biggest crowd John Smith has ever played in. I'm impressed by his composure to be around the plate as much as he has. I thought he might be a little bit more nervous in this.
Here's the payoff pitch. Hit hard toward third, but Norris comes up and throws him out. 1, 2, 3 inning for Cal State Fullerton and left-hander John Smith into the first half inning. And now let's go down to our colleague on the field, Dave Ryan. David.
With all the bleacher fans out here in left field, Mike, it's pretty exciting for the College World Series to open. It's very exciting for the President of the United States to come here. But nothing is going to match up with the intensity these fans are feeling at Nebraska as the Cornhuskers make their first ever appearance here at the College World Series. Most of these fans have waited their whole life to get a chance to watch the Cornhuskers play in Omaha. Some did the bidding on eBay on the internet to get their tickets. Some paid up to $500 to get their tickets as well. Now, guys, as for Cal State Fullerton head coach, their team, George Horton, decided to bring in a sports psychologist to help defeat the huge fans like this behind them making all this noise. The psychologist told the players to focus in on a focal point somewhere in the state mind off this big crowd cheering.
Dave, I would say move to a quieter location, but I don't think there is one. Not tonight.
Where is Dave's focal point? Did he stay focused on that?
He's great.
Oh, my goodness. Looking in the closet up here, you know, we have all the gear. I'm thinking we might have had some earplugs for Dave out there. Good job concentrating, Dave.
Cal State Fullerton head coach George Horton, who's won 220 games in his 5 years. Here is his lineup tonight.
David Bacani, and I was a neighbor down the road to Harold Reynolds in Brea, California.
Robert Giesman from Lemoore, California. Jason Cropsey from Orange, California, and I'm the 5th guy from my high school to play in the College World Series.
Aaron Rifkin, Upland, California. My career aspirations after baseball are to appear on ESPN's The Life.
Brett Kay from Villa Park, California, and my teammates like to call me Walt Flanagan.
My name's Mike Rouse. I'm from San Jose, California. My teammates call me Big Mike and Tanner.
I'm Chris Stringfellow from Vista, California. My teammates call me Shmoo.
Shane Costa, Visalia, California.
Sean Norris, I'm from Sandy, Utah, and my teammates call me Danger.
Are they from California or what?
Yes, they are.
Cool as can be.
They will be facing right-hander Shane Comine, who has a sparkling 14-1 record with 6 complete games this year.
Shane Comine, Honolulu, Hawaii. I love surfing, but there's no waves in Lincoln.
Short and sweet.
I tell you what a recruiting coup. This young man in high school was like 5'7", 130, and some of the coaches thought they'd be laughed at if they recruited him. I think going to a kid in Hawaii and saying, why don't you come to school in Nebraska, you know, when he's never seen snow or anything else, is really the funny part. But he has grown, and he has been great for the program. Bacani will lead it off, a .328 hitter, and maybe more importantly, their best hitter on the road at .376 this year.
He's been the leadoff hitter for 4 years now at Cal State Fullerton. Moved him a little bit this year, but not much. But that type of experience is incredible. To have 4 years of learning how to lead off, it's a tough job to do. You got to take pitches, you got to learn pitchers. He's done a fabulous job doing that.
And he's the first player in the history of the Big West to make all-conference 4 straight years.
And he's my neighbor. I live about 5 minutes from Cal State Fullerton, so I see these kids quite a bit.
Another one of the table setters for George Horton. Comine with a fastball. This one's popped up. Morris coming back, but just out of his reach. Weather, no factor at all. The flags are still. It is a perfect, absolutely picture-perfect night for college baseball here at the College World Series. One and two to David Bacani. Hit hard down the left field line. It's going to drop in and go toward the corner. Bacani turns first, on his way to second. Cole digs it out. It's a stand-up double for David Bacani.
Well, that's where that experience pays off right there, Mike. He's in the College World Series, couple strikes. He's been here before. Ends up with a big hit. John, I was going to say, setting the defense here. We got John Cole, the left fielder. Talked about him when he was hitting. He's played 15 games, started 15 games, I should say, at second base. And This is his 40th game in left field. Versatile athlete. And left field will be a sun field for just a little bit longer, but he's an extremely talented young man.
Runner at second with nobody out for Robert Guzman, a .330 hitter. He's the left fielder. And he wanted to sacrifice him over, got a piece, 0-1.
Well, I think it's a great strategy by Coach George Horton to go ahead and bunt, move the runner to third. You would do that anyway. But with it being such a Nebraska dominant crowd, you want to take them out of this as soon as you possibly can, get some runs and quiet them down a little bit.
This is a team that can lay some big numbers on you, too. They've hit 58 home runs this year, average 7.5 runs a game. And right now they're looking to play small ball, get somebody over to third, and that pitch by Comine is outside.
I was absolutely impressed looking at their lineup. Everybody except for the 9-hitter, Sean Norris, is hitting over 300. And he's hitting 292, so it's pretty potent offense.
Guzman chops it. The catcher Morris comes up. His only play is to first, the sacrifice race. And Bacani moves over to third.
That's a great piece of bunting right there. A lot of times when you bunt, you want to try to bounce that ball in the dirt, particularly with the aluminum bat. That dirt circle in front of the plate, hit the plate or the dirt, that's going to deaden the ball. See how he bunts that ball straight down? It's got nowhere to go, but stay fair. Excellent job of executing the bunt and moving the runner over.
He's a runner at third for Jason Karabsy. 346 hitter. Only a sophomore from Orange, California. 5'8", 165. Pretty small for a number 3 hitter. But he's driven in 47, only 1 home run, but a good average hitter at 346.
Well, George Horton was saying the 3-hitter has been their Achilles heel. They haven't found anybody to be consistent there. And obviously, with the averages, all they're looking for, they're not looking for power in this situation or in this spot in the order. For this particular club, most teams, your 3rd hitter is the guy who's got all the juice.
But he has really come through for them. And George mentioned this morning at our meeting that sometimes the stereotypical spots don't work, and the chemistry of the lineup with him in that 3rd spot has been very valuable to them. After a dreadful 2-5 start against a wicked schedule, they come in here 46-16. Fastball called strike. 3-1.
Yeah, I got a chance to see some of that dreadful start. They were an ugly club at the beginning of the year. Didn't catch the ball, made a lot of mistakes. And he said, you know, we platooned a lot. We shuffled our lineup in and out. When they picked the lineup and settled with it, that's when things turned around. They ran off 24 out of 25 at one time.
3-1 to Karabsy. Breaking pitch line in the left field base hit. That'll get the first run of the game home. An RBI single for Karabsy. And Bacani scores easily from third.
Nice piece of hitting. Just stayed with the ball, drove it right back up the middle. Get a good look at it. He stays right through this ball, doesn't try to hook it, doesn't try to do too much with it. Little hug, little style.
They like the style.
They've been watching a lot of baseball out there. Little Dion in there.
Well, let's hope not. Dion's only hitting, what, 173? He's not styling much on anybody.
This kid right here can hit, though.
We'll chop on you here for a second, because this is the young man who you were accused of damaging his game simply by speaking to him a couple of years ago when he came to the College World Series for the first time.
Well, Andy Rifkin has really made himself a great hitter. And, you know, the funny story is I never gave him any hitting tips or anything like that. He was a freshman, and he comes to the College World Series, and he sees me there, and he's been watching baseball tonight, and he realized, man, I'm at the College World Series.
This is big time.
And he freaked out. He just totally lost it. And so last winter, Coach Horton comes up to me and he says, hey, you got to go talk to Riff because this kid he's struggled since you met him before. So I said, all right, I'll go talk to him. Like I'm the mummy, the curse of the mummy or something. But he turned it around himself. He's doing fabulous.
Rifkin, 15 homers, 57 RBIs, and they want to go out and talk. Let's take a look at what Fullerton did in the regionals. 3-2. They split the last 2 games against Texas Tech in the regionals at Fullerton, and like Nebraska, they played both the regionals and the super regionals at home. That's a huge advantage. And they swept Mississippi State 13-2 and 9-3, so they have won 5 of 6 games in the NCAA.
You know, one thing that's going through as you get a chance to see pitcher coach Rob Childress out there speaking with his pitcher, is just settling him down. One thing that happens with a big crowd like this and all the excitement and all the hype, you have a tendency to get caught up in it yourself. And so Dave Van Horn, the coach, said, hey, I've told all the kids, just look around, get a feel for where you're at, now relax and go play. It reminds me of a scene out of Hoosiers. It really does.
That's right.
You know, go up there and draw the baseline and say, hey, it's still same distance no matter where we're playing at.
Check throw to first. It's been a great start right here for Cal State Fullerton. They lead off the game with a double, then a perfect sacrifice bunt, an RBI single to drive him in. So a runner at first with 1 out on that sacrifice, and Rifkin ahead 2-0. Make it 3-0.
Well, Mike, if we learned any lesson today, it was that Tulane-Stanford game. Tulane jumped out to an 8-0 lead early, only to lose that game to Stanford. So
8-0 leads are like flying. You should be safe, but sometimes a wing drops off, and it did today. Strike call on the outside corner. Comina usually has excellent control. 123 2/3 innings pitched. He's walked only 35 while striking out 148, so the ratio is terrific.
It is. Around the plate. See, Fullerton's got 2 hitters on the on-deck circle, both trying to size it up. When you're on the on-deck circle, go ahead, get your stance, read the pitch, try to gauge it. The more times you see a pitch, the more advantage you have by the time you get into the plate and have to stand there and see it coming at you.
Kay and Rouse were the on-deck hitters. 3-1 to Rifkin, fouled straight back, 3-2.
It was interesting. He threw over about 3 times on a 3-1 count, anticipating they might run. But Cal State Fullerton doesn't run as much as a lot of the other clubs here do. Now 3-2 with Rifkin hitting. This will be interesting to see if they start to run.
Karopsi does not have great speed. 7 out of 10 stolen bases this year. Let's see if they want to try to stay away from the double plug. Thrown over first now 6 times. Morris behind plate has a good arm. Bluffs the start. This one's hit to deep left. Cole going back all the way to the wall, and it's out of here. That ball just carried and carried. 2-run homer for Andy Rifkin.
This kid is strong. He's got great power to all fields. He has really worked himself to a point where he was a first-round draft pick in the junior draft. He has power to all fields right there. 3-2 fastball. He got on it, stayed with it the whole way. It's a big blow right there.
Rifkin with his 16th home run of the year. That leads the club. He stayed in there nicely.
Well, he really did. He stayed right through that ball and took what they gave him. They didn't throw you on the outside half, stay with it.
In spite of all those runs in game 1 of the College World Series, there were no home runs in that first game, a 13-11 game. I don't know if I have ever seen as many bloop singles.
Wow,
as
it was
we
incredible.
had that game.
Really, you're right. It was incredible. That was not a bloop.
No, This is Brett Kay at 331, first team All Big West Conference, a junior out of Villa Park, California. 59th team home run of the year for the Titans. Already a 3-0 here in the first. Line drive base hit by Kay. And right now, Shane Comine is no secret whatsoever to the Titans.
Well, he really isn't. And the thing about Cal State Fullerton is they're taking the crowd out of the game right now. And that is big for them. Great piece of hitting. A little cut fastball, drove it back over the plate.
So you wouldn't think 24,000 people could get that quiet that quickly. And now the dangerous Mike Rouse. 395 average, 12 homers, 61 driven in. That leads the club. And he's got Kay down in first, but still only one out. Swing and a miss.
Well, this is a good ball club, this Cal State Fullerton club. I mean, they're the #1 seed coming into this whole tournament, starting back before when we did the Road to Omaha show and all 64 seeds were put in. They were the #1 seed.
Got action in the Nebraska bullpen. Jamie Rodriguez is up and throwing. One after a fastball, may have missed the outside part of the plate, fanned through it.
Nice pitch right there on the outside half.
There's Rodriguez, and if they go to him early, they'd like to go to the left-hander since a righty had started. But they don't want to get Comine out of there unless they absolutely have to. This guy has been sensational this season. 14-1. Missed with a fastball.
Well, he does such a nice job of staying around the plate, Mike. You can see he really relies a lot on his control. And sometimes when you're around the plate and you get against a good hitting team, they're going to put the ball in play, and that's when you get hurt. That's kind of what's happening with him right now. He's not going to make you swing and miss a whole lot.
They have a 320 team batting. Throw over to first. Kay got back. A ball and 2 strikes to Mike Rouse. 3 runs already home here in the first. Line right at the shortstop. And his shoe taps and ball goes back to first. Nearly had the double play.
Let's try.
But Johnson couldn't come up with a throw. So a line drive out for Rouse.
Very nice play by the shortstop. He really didn't have time to set himself. I thought maybe he did, but the base runner really made a nice reaction to get back. But he just got his foot slipped right when he was delivering the ball. Now, it looks like he's out by a long distance, but watch his foot slip. The last right there, and that's why it ended up being a short hop instead of all the way in the air. You never know what the runner's going to do. You always want to try to get rid of the ball. You can't sit there and think, I'm going to hold it, set myself, and make a throw back across the diamond. You never get anybody to do that.
2 outs now for Stringfellow, and there's a fly ball to center field. The inning is over. But not before Cal State Fullerton does the damage. The biggest blow, Andy Rifkin's 2-run homer as the Titans get 3 here in the bottom of the first. And they lead the last 3 You do not want to be in right field. That's where the sun is shining right over the top of the pavilion. And that will fortunately go away for those right fielders very shortly. It is a brutal sun field tonight. A couple of guys had trouble on fly balls in the first inning. So now John Smith has been staked to a 3-0 lead as we enter the second inning.
And here's Big Dan Johnson. This guy is the one that needs to get it going.
24 homers, 85 RBIs. Goes after a fastball and fouls it back. Now, Harold, did you prefer a pitcher like a Smith, who you knew was going to throw fastballs, might have excellent location and movement, but that was what you were going to get?
Oh, yeah. You always wanted to, if that was great, if a guy was going to come after your fastballs. Like Frank Howard would say, pick out a piece of cheese and let it fly, kid.
There's a nice breaking ball. And that's got to be so much more effective after he throws 15 fastballs in a row to snap one of those on.
Yeah, and particularly to the left-hander. Now he's like, you got to be kidding me. You haven't thrown it to anybody else. Now I get up here, you want to throw it?
0-2 to Johnson. Fastball missed high.
But Johnson's got a nice approach, though, Mike. You can see how he's put up those big numbers. He'll stay in there the whole way, stride right towards the pitcher. He's got a tough background, though. Shadows, the ball's going to be coming out of the light into the dark. Very difficult to pick up.
Fastball is 2-2. Johnson made just about everybody's All-American team. Has not done all that great in the postseason, although you saw what he did in the Big 12 tournament. But in NCAA play for his career, only 231 coming in here. So he would like to get a couple of balls. Hit hard down the outfield line, twisting off the wall. Guzman comes up. And a double, the first hit of the night for Nebraska for Cam Johnson.
Well, Mike, you can see that by his approach 2 pitches earlier. After the breaking pitch, they came back with the fastball up, and he stayed right there. Now watch the approach. He'll stay with this ball and drive it the opposite way. Very nice swing. That's the only way you're going to hit a ball like that. This ball carrying a long ways. Now the wind is not blowing, so this becomes a real equal field for everybody. He hit that ball nice. Very nice stroke.
Really got some elevation on a ball away from him.
And he really brought the crowd back into the game also.
First hit of the game will bring up Jeff Blevins, the third baseman from Sand Springs, Oklahoma. Really helped them coming out of junior college. Blevins hitting .321. Smith with his first base run. Fastball in the corner. Blevins is one of those kids who is familiar with Omaha because he used to work around the concession stands and in the near the stands here, and always told his dad he would one day come back to Rosenblatt, and here he is. Hit towards short. Sports it. And didn't hit it.
I saw him coming. He got a little bit of a hop on him.
Johnson went to third on the boot by the shortstop, Rouse, who's a very good shortstop, only 6 errors in his last 42 games.
Watch this last hop right there. Jumped up on him. Sometimes when you get a lot of traffic after a big inning, a lot of runners are out there, it hits a divot and kicks up on you. The runner had nothing to do with that because he's already on his way. Good read by Johnson, but you can see really a long hop ate him up. Sometimes you just get that tough play.
Not much you can do except stay in front of it, knock it down, and try to throw him out anyway.
Absolutely.
First and third for Josh Hesse. And Nebraska trying to come right back after giving up 3 in the bottom of the first. Hit down the right field line. That'll be trouble into the corner. 1 run scores. Costner comes up with it down the hole with third. It's another double.
That's why I love college baseball. You never know what's going to happen. They look dead and out of it after the first inning. And then they come back in the bottom of the second. And they're already second and third, no outs, and they have brought this crowd to their feet.
Hesse with his 20th RBI. Johnson scores the run. It's 3-1. Runners at second and third, still nobody out.
Well, great piece of hitting by Hesse. He's going the opposite way. You pick up the RBI, you get the man over. A lot of good things can happen when you stay trying to drive the ball the other way. You're going to stay on the fastball, a breaking ball. And now you hear the crowd getting into it as the pitching coach comes out to talk with his pitch.
Dave Serrano will come out to talk to John Smith. Tomorrow night, hope you'll join us as the Stanley Cup Finals conclude on ABC at Do or Die Game 7. Can the Devils repeat as champs, or will the the future Hall of Famer Ray Bork finally capture hockey's holy grail, the Avalanche against the Devils, live tomorrow night, 8 Eastern on ABC.
How can you not root for Bork? You know, you gotta hope the man gets a chance to win a Stanley Cup.
Oh, there's some guys, no matter what the sport, that play their entire career like brilliantly and never come up with the ring, you know.
I'm telling you, Ernie Banks.
Let's play too.
Reynolds. You know.
That's right. And I mean, mentioning you in the same breath with Ernie Banks, Musial, Mantle, it's not a stretch at all, Harold. Inside to Morris, the catcher, lefty against lefty, has some power, 6 home runs this year.
I find it interesting that you got the defense is going to play back. They're going to give them a run because you don't want to play into a big inning. So you play back. You got a 3-1 ball game. Behind
the runner, and Kay has a good arm and will do that.
Right here, this is how they set he checks the runner, comes back. You got to find the plate. But that's what happens when you're out of the windup with the threat of a guy running. You got to check him. That's just a natural habit. A lot of times, pitchers will look over there and not see anything.
Right.
They'll just look.
1-1 to Morris. Foul back. Now, Harold, when you were in this situation, the infield is back. They're going to concede a run. What did that do to you as a hitter? Are you still trying to elevate something, hit something hard, or are you just trying to put it in play?
Just trying to put it in play, either hard up the middle or to the right side of the diamond. Right side of the diamond is a double bonus. You get the run and you move the runner to third base. That's what you really want to do. When you try to hit the ball in the air in this situation, that's when you get the pop up to the infield and you're slamming your helmet.
Smith ahead, 1-2. High fastball hit to third. They got to play at the plate. And dead at the plate is Blevins.
What a play by Norris right there.
Norris came up firing, and Kay had all night long to apply the tag.
It's a tough play. You know, the base runner should probably freeze right here because you have no outs, and you continue to stay second and third if you don't run. Right there, that's overzealous, and that's when you get a little excited with the crowd, and he just got taken out of the play. Norris with a nice pick and read and come up and make that throw. Because in that situation, most runners are not going to run.
Blevins is out. Hesse goes to second. And Morris safe at first on the fielder's choice.
With 1 out, the runners are going to run on that play because they're running on contact. With no outs, go ahead and stay there. You still got second and third, and you're still in a great position for the next hitter coming up.
The number 8 hitter is the shortstop Will Bolt, swinging a miss at a fastball. So Smith gets a nice defensive play, cutting down the runner at the plate, and now he has runners at first and second with 1 out, and a better chance to get out of the inning without any more damage.
This young man was the first NU baseball recruit out of Texas in nearly 20 years. That's how far this baseball program has come. To be able to take players out of Texas, Oklahoma.
Absolutely. And that's what it takes. The first guy sets the stage if you are going to go from a mediocre or poor program to an outstanding program that has the success like this and gets to the College World Series. Somebody's got to start it. Somebody that you can pluck from a non-traditional area for your recruiting, and they did it.
They sure did.
Throw back to second, got him! What a great pickoff! And caught way off the bag was Hesse.
Well, they're an aggressive team, and Cal State Fullerton very aware of that. They were going to call all the pickoffs from the bench. Now, I'm not sure that he didn't get back in there on the outside half. Here comes it's a timing pickoff play. Tried to block him off, but I thought he got underneath that. Another good look. Blocked a good football play, I'll tell you that.
It was. Bacani applied the tag, and Smith, so good at picking runners off first, picks that one off second and helps himself. Now that's 2 outs and a runner at first. So what a turnaround. You had runners at second and third, nobody out. You get a guy going for the plate on a contact play when possibly he shouldn't be. He's thrown out at the plate. Then the runner at second is picked off.
It's amazing. But base running is such an overlooked skill in baseball. And even at the major league level, you see teams run themselves out of big innings. And right here, Nebraska, teams run themselves out of a big inning. If you're the runner at second base, when you come off the bag, you always want to pick up the second baseman and see where he is at. That will determine your lead.
Hit to straightaway center field. Stringfellow coming on. McConney going back. McConney makes the play. So Nebraska threatens and gets a run. But defense by Cal State Fullerton limited it to
1. Dave Ryan back at the College World Series. We talked a lot about loyal fans from Nebraska waiting in line a long time to see their Cornhuskers play in action tonight. That certainly goes for Gary Lynch and Michael Lynch.
This is what you do when the Huskers come to Omaha. I've been up the line and down the line. Everybody's having fun.
How'd it go last night?
We had a great night last night. We're number 1, 2, Michael over here. We spent 1:30 yesterday afternoon till now. When you take any child to a game, it's worth it. It's a lot of fun. It's a father-son event. We're in. Now this is what we did all night long. We had fun. You bring your kid out, you're spending quality time. Hey, guess what? We talked a lot. We probably talked more last night as father and son than we've talked maybe since we were waiting one time for the bus.
So Gary, you've been here 31 hours consecutive in all. Was it worth it now that the Cornhuskers are finally in action here in Omaha?
When the Cornhuskers hit the field, the excitement, the electricity was worth every second of waiting.
You only slept about 2 hours. How you feeling right now? You just went through the longest 9-inning game in College World Series history. The game prior with Stanford and Tulane.
I don't think either one of us are too tired right now. We're game for another set if we had to be here another set.
All right, Michael's 11 years old. Michael, let me ask you this. What did you do all that time? You waited some 20-odd hours in line.
We played catch with anything we could find, and we just watched people and talked to people.
Play Frisbee.
A lot of Frisbee guys. Turns out that Michael's a football player, big Cornhusker football fan, but for this week, he'll be here all the games in Omaha. He's a Husker baseball fan.
All right, Dave, thanks very much. And boy, what a tough ticket. This place will seat a little over 23,500. Of course, you go to Lincoln for a football game, and they'll seat upwards of, I guess, 80,000 people. You know, that's a tough ticket. When he gets down to 23, he gets real tough.
Boy, 2 things that stood out. He spent the whole time talking with his son more than he's ever spoke with him before, and playing catch with anything you can find. That would be fun. Spend that kind of time with your dad. That's incredible.
Great event for kids, great event for the rest of us.
With Father's Day around the corner, he's already got his gift.
That's right. Shane Costa will lead it off here in the Cal State Fullerton second. Comini trying to settle down. Costa, freshman out of Visalia, hitting .382. That's second on the ball club.
I'd like to hit .382 and be second.
I'd just like to hit .382 and be in the 8-hole.
Yeah, really.
What do I have to do, Coach? 2-2 to Costa. Goes after a low fastball, hits it to straightaway center. Lightsey comes in and makes an excellent catch.
Third baseman, number 3, Sean.
See a lot of red when you look out there tonight. Nebraska's program has waited 50 years to get here. Rather than make the 50-mile drive just as fans, they wanted to come here and play with a chance to win a championship. And so many of them are around here. Sean Norris, the number 9 man, stands in. He's the third baseman, hitting .292. Draper, Utah is his home.
Honestly, could not tell you what Draper is.
Got me on that one.
I would say it's near Salt Lake City.
But considering Utah's winters, good idea to go to school in California.
If you want to play baseball, definitely.
You can tell I don't like the cold. Fastball outside. The crowd really trying to get back into it. They were energized in the top half of the inning when Nebraska got a run. fouled away. Komine, the single season and career record holder for wins at Nebraska. Only 5'10", 175. He's grown a lot since they initially recruited him, 130 pounds and 5'7". But for that small body, he gets it up there pretty well. We look at all of his school records, including nearly 400 strikeouts. Fastball. Speaking of strikeouts, and Norris is gone.
Well, he's done a great job of locating the ball in the outside half. Even the home run that Rifkin hit was to left field. Most of the hits have been for left-handers. But watch where he lines up. He lines up his body on the outside half of the plate. So, and therefore, he's going to end up throwing the ball on the outside half. See where he's lined up? That's where his arm slot is going to go. That's why he's living on the outside half. It's going to be very difficult for him to pitch inside the left-handers, but he will probably pitch more inside the right-handers, as you see right there the first pitch, than he will to left-handers.
Up and into Bacani, who started the ball game with a double and scored the first run of the game.
So where you position yourself on the rubber sometimes will tell you already where that pitcher is going to locate the ball.
Just inside third, diving stop by Blevins, comes up and throws him out. Nice play by Jeff Blevins, who's been playing with a badly sprained wrist since May 11th. Didn't show it there. Excellent defense by Nebraska.
Well, he really took his time, came up with a great throw. Dive shades of Brooks Robinson in the World Series.
Excellent defense. End of 2, 3-1, Cal State Fullerton.
Blevins, right?
Yeah.
Welcome back to Omaha. 3-1 Cal State Fullerton as we move to the top of the third. Watch this great play by Blevins, the third baseman. What really stands out in my mind, Mike, he took his time because he knows his ability. Unbelievable strong arm. And comes up and gets a fast runner with a great sparkling play. We've seen some great play already early in this game.
Jeff Lacey, the center fielder, will lead it off. Went to Creighton Prep right here in Omaha. Another one of those kids who's going to have a lot of family and friends around. Does this make it easier or harder?
It's got to be a lot of fun. You know, it's difficult with tickets. But to come home and be able to play is really a blast. Plus, Creighton Prep, they won a state championship this year, so he's got a lot of things to celebrate.
He's the leadoff hitter against right-handers. They drop him down to the 9 spot against lefties. And he skies this to straightaway center for Stringfellow, who has it for the first out.
Good looking swing. He stayed right through that ball, not worried about the lefty on lefty. You know, you throw that out a lot, left-hander versus left-hander, and let the kids play. That's another thing that happens at the college level. They get a chance to develop and see what they're capable of doing. And sometimes they surprise you with the results they come up with.
And of course, as you get deeper into the NCAA playoffs and then to the College World Series, you're seeing more and more quality pitchers for the most part. Back to the top of the order, John Cole, who began the Nebraska first by striking out. He's dropped his average down to 416. How'd you like to go 0 for 1 and have your average drop to 416?
Not bad.
Fastball rides high, 2-0 from John Smith.
Mike, it'll be interesting to see the adjustment Nebraska makes the second time around. A lot of times when you face a pitcher like Smith, who you have the scouting report, he throws a lot of fastballs, and you kind of go, yeah, right, okay. Nobody throws as many fastballs as reported, but he has. So let's see if they get aggressive with it.
Fastball right down the middle. This time hit to straightaway center field. Stringfellow going back. Wow. John Cole with his 10th home run of the season. A bomb that did dead center right over the 408 sign.
Boy, you said it right. A bomb. He crushed that ball. But again, Mike, the aggressiveness. He was not surprised. He anticipated the fastball. He got it. And I mean, he crushed it. Great athlete, Cole. We talked about his ability to play infield and the outfield, but I didn't realize he had this kind of pop, man. That is the type that goes on a bubblegum card. That's how much pop is there. Oh, my goodness.
And certainly wasn't wind aided. The flags are still in center field. He just crushed that one. And when you're a fastball pitcher like Smith, who relies on movement and location, the one location you don't want is right down Broadway. Now Adam Stern fouls this one straight back. Stern 0 for 1, flew to left his first time up. Nebraska has closed it to 1 run.
Boy, and when you have a leadoff hitter with the ability to hit a ball out of a ballpark, that just makes everybody in the lineup say, I can hit this guy.
Now they're going to have to keep a close eye on Smith, because in 4 of his last 6 starts, he's given up at least 3 earned runs. This one's fouled back out of play on now 1-2. He did come up big in the Titans' do-or-die NCAA regional game against Texas Tech. 2 runs and scattered 4 hits in 7 2/3 innings. So that's a good sign, but he had been knocked around in a half a dozen starts before that.
Well, one of the things that coaches from Cal State Fullerton did talk about is they have all 5 of their regular starters. They're all available. They're all fresh.
Strike 3 called. The second strikeout for Smith. The fastball on the corner. 2 gone for Nebraska.
Well, you talk about a ball right down the middle. Just catching the outside half, and you can see that from that dead center view. Right off the back, the black of the plate right there. Nice pitch.
That leaves it up to Matt Hopper, who grounded to third his first time up. 2 out, nobody on. Fastball inside corner with the knees.
You know, Mike, it looks like he's changing speeds real well on the fastball. Sometimes he throws one in the mid-80s. Next one's about 85, 83. So he's taking a little bit off, and that's what you have to do when your fastball is your dominant pitch.
There's a fastball crushed to left. A line drive that was out of here in a heartbeat off the bat of Matt Hopper. His 12th.
I told you, this guy's got some mad power. I was watching him in batting practice yesterday, and he was juicing some balls. Guzman with a great effort. And we got a ball game, Mike. This brings the crowd all the way back into it. But my goodness, Hopper smoked. That was a lot. You didn't have time to make the call. That was the line drive.
We talked about the first game, how there were a lot of bloop singles. There was nothing bloop about these last 2 home runs. All he got out of them, all of that.
The only question was, will it get high enough? Because it was a line drive. Watch the effort by Guzman.
Everything he could, but a couple of rows over his glove. Tied at 3. And now to the real power of Dan Johnson, who doubled to left his first time up off the wall. All 4 hits have gone for extra bases, 2 doubles and 2 solo home runs.
Well, we're really witnessing a college baseball game. You know, we saw bad base running, took Nebraska out of it. Now we see the power in the college game from both teams. Opposite field home run, the big blast right there, pulled by Hopper. Great stuff.
Tried to hit the outside corner at the knees and missed.
A nice little changeup right there. So he's trying to do something off speed, but he has shown this left-hander a breaking pitch already, but I'm thinking 2-1, he's coming back with another fastball. And I think Mr. Johnson's feeling that way too.
Fastball inside. Pitch he'd like to have back. Brett Kay can't make it. Ran into the wall just as the ball got to his glove, and Johnson is still alive.
Well, that's one of the toughest plays for college players, Mike, when they come to a big stadium. They're not used to playing in a stadium like this, and any time that a ball gets up like that, it starts to curl back because the wind current is going to bring it back. He tries to stay with it, but watch it snake on him right at the end. It cuts off on him, and that's the biggest adjustment you have to make from playing in a college baseball field as opposed to coming to a stadium where you have a double-decker roof.
And if this isn't the best minor league ballpark you ever saw, I don't know what would be.
Beautiful.
It just seems to get better every year. 2-2 to Johnson, who set a Big 12 tournament record with 5 home runs in that tournament, and that gave him the single season record with 24. Three and 2 to the cleanup hitter. Nebraska already with 2 solo homers here in the top of the 3rd to tie it up. Smith on 3 and 2. Fastball struck him out. Nebraska showing its power. Solo home runs by Cole and Hopper. They're tied at 3.
All right. Whew. What a game.
We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd inning between Nebraska and Cal State Fullerton. It's an opening round game in the College World Series here at Omaha. We are tied at 3. Mike Patrick, Harold Reynolds, Dave Ryan, our entire ESPN crew with you. Glad you could join us tonight from Omaha. It is a packed house as Nebraska makes its first ever appearance in the tournament. And the Husker fans are out in force. Cal State Fullerton knew it was going to be about 22,500 to 1,000 tonight.
Yeah, and some people act like they've been there before. The Nebraska fans act like they've been there before. I'm trying to come up through the stands, and they all move aside. They're used to these big crowds and ushering their way through. I've been in some crowds. I've just been stuck there because people are like, I've never been in a big crowd before. These people, they turn out. They support.
You get stuck because they want you wrong.
Put a hat on.
Shades.
No, not that fun.
Guzman, Karopsi, and Rifkin, the scheduled hitters in this inning. Guzman laid down a nice sacrifice in the 1st inning to get Bacani over the 3rd base. Komine back in it after falling behind 3-0. His club has scrapped its way back into a 3-3 tie. Swing and a miss over a breaking ball.
Oh, big swing by Guzman trying to pull a ball, but Komine is going to live on the outside half to these left-handed hitters, which is really not a bad strategy. Make them beat you the other way because that ball flies to right here.
Oh! Breaking pitch just missed on the outside. Broke around the plate. And Paul Gloyer, the home plate umpire, wasn't buying it. 2-1. Fastball again, Harold, on the outside of the plate, foul by 2-2.
Well, how about how Mr. Komine, though, he has stayed with his game plan, and he didn't get flustered early. Rifkin with the big home run. It looked like Cal State Fullerton was on their way to blowing them out and knocking him out of the game. He's really stayed with his game plan. He's settled down, and he's rotating his pitches now.
Slap towards shortstop. But the throw not in time. Routine ground ball that Bolt could not come up with at short, and it's an error and a runner aboard. Those are the plays you have to make here.
The routine play is what every coach or every manager or whatever level wants you to make. He just misread the hop and ended up jumping on it, but he hesitated and he lost the ball. That's why you want to field that ball out in front of you. It keeps your eyes out in front of you. See where his glove got brought back into his body? When you bring your glove back into your body, your eyes come back with you, and that's why that ball ended up eating him up.
Karopsi, who had a single his first time up, with a runner at first and nobody out in the Cal State Fullerton 3rd. He's now hitting .349 after driving in a run. Guzman, who was stolen 11 bases, is back. Karopsi, the sophomore, fouls this one back out.
Here's what I'm talking about. It wasn't that he got a bad hop. But when you catch a ball out here, your eyes automatically stay out in front of you. When you bring them back here, your head moves back here too. Now you lose track of that ball, and that's what happened to Bolt on that ground ball. When you let the ball come back in here, that's when you're going to boot him. Here's a good look. Now watch his eyes. See where his glove ends up coming back into his hands, and that's why that ball eats him up. Had he caught that ball out in front of him, he would have had no problems.
0-2 to Karopsi. Fastball misses. The most fundamental thing in all of athletics is to keep your eye on the ball. And how many times do we see people keep their eye on the ball until just before contact, either a golf ball or a baseball or whatever.
Very tough thing to train yourself to do. You almost take the philosophy of Muhammad Ali. Your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see. And the same thing with hitting. You can't hit anything you can't see, or you can't catch a ball that you cannot see. You've got to use your eyes.
Amine throws over to first. Trying to keep Guzman close, who reached on the shortstop Bolt's error. Fastball fouled on the right field line. Kemp rides at 1-2.
Right there, Guzman bluffing a steal. A lot of times when you have a guy who is known for running or stealing bases, there's no need to bluff, because now you draw attention to yourself. They threw over a couple times, so obviously they had a little bit of inclination that you might run, but they really don't know you yet. So why draw more attention to you? Now you fake a bluff, and now they say, okay, he's thinking about running. So if you're a base runner, don't run unless you're going to go. No need to bluff.
Pitch out.
2-2.
As you said earlier, they do not run that much. He is second on the club in stolen bases with 11. Karopsi to straightaway center field, and Lacey has a beat on it. 1 out. Let's go to Dave Ryan. Dave, what do you have?
Well, Mike, thanks. When Shane Kamine was in high school in Hawaii, a couple schools, including the University of Hawaii, recruited him. It was at that time, though, Nebraska was playing a holiday tournament, it so happens, in Honolulu. Now, a friend of Coach Dave Van Horn, who lives in Hawaii, told him he had a can't-miss recruit. He had to see him pitch. The Cornhusker coaches impressed enough to offer Shane a scholarship, and he accepted sight unseen. He had never been to the lower 48 states at all. He told me yesterday when he was flying over Nebraska, he thought he was going to see a little tiny school in a big, huge cornfield. Instead, he really loved the campus, loved the city of Lincoln. What a great story. Ends up here in the College World Series.
David, it is a wonderful area to live. I just know the times I have been to Hawaii, they had to drag me to the airplane to get me to leave, no matter where I was going to.
It just speaks for a lot of kids, though. No matter where you grow up, you want to leave home.
Yeah. You want something different when you grow up with beaches and the sunshine. Let's go to Lincoln and see what winter's like.
You know, the other part of the story that's so funny about that is the pitching coach didn't really like him. You know, it was the head coach who said, I like this kid. The pitching coach said, Rod Childress said, I don't know if I really like this guy. He's a little puny guy. They're going to laugh at us.
He's so small. That's exactly right. They thought they trot out a 5'7", 130-pound pitcher on Saturday, and everybody's going to laugh. Well, he wiped the smiles off their faces. Fastball misses there, 1-1 to Rifkin, who blasted a 2-run homer.
And as usual, he took credit for it after he became a stellar pitcher for him. Hey, I recruited the guy.
Absolutely.
We recruited him, he told head coach.
That's right.
We did
Glad we
job.
got it. Well, we're all on the same team, aren't we? Slap foul, 2-1. Rifkin has saved his best stuff for late in the season. Maybe the best game of his career came in the final of the Super Regionals against Mississippi State. 4 for 5, 3 home runs, and 6 RBIs.
There's some guys you look at, you see them swing, or the way they carry themselves on the field, and you go, this is a ball player. Aaron Rifkin's a ball player. Aubrey, this afternoon's game from Tulane, you can tell this kid, even though he's a freshman, is going to be some kind of play.
Throw with the first. You want to talk about tough. Kamine had a line drive that came back last year and shattered his jaw. And he pitched a week later in the Super Regionals against Stanford. He's just one of those kids that wants to play. Called strike 2 and 2.
And a tremendous delayed steal right there executed by Guzman. And how you execute a delayed steal is there's a couple ways to do it. Watch him at first base. He'll take a couple shuffles and boom. As soon as the ball crosses the plate, you take off. So you actually take 3 hops. 1, 2, 3, and as soon as you hit the 3rd hop, you take off and bolt towards second. And about that time, the ball should be crossing the plate, and you catch everybody sleeping. Great job of executing it.
Rifkin with a 2-2 count now, runner in scoring position. He hits a line drive to right. Stern going back for the winning try. He'll make the catch. Karopsy tags and will go to 3rd. Excuse me, Guzman will go to 3rd.
Good job by Komane keeping him off balance. That's why that ball wasn't hit out of the ballpark. He gets him out front just enough, just to keep him off. Just quite didn't get enough, and the right fielder doing a nice job staying with the ball. Knowing where he's at, he fills the track. Stern gets it right back in. Nice fundamental play. You don't get this far in the season into the College World Series unless your players are going to be fundamentally sound. Both clubs are showing that.
And a good play by Guzman not to get too far off second on the line drive, give him enough time to get back and tag up to go to 3rd.
Absolutely.
I think scoring a wild pitch, an error, a pass ball, any number of things. Kay, who singled his first time up. It's a fastball outside.
And a lot of times, Mike, by that runner getting to 3rd base, it really does affect the pitches that the pitcher will throw, because now he's not going to bounce a ball in the dirt. He doesn't have the confidence to do that unless you got a tremendous catcher.
Fastball up and in. 2-0 to Brett Kay. And he is their best hitter with runners in scoring position. 417 coming into the College World Series. Runners in scoring position and 2 outs. He has come through all year long. Fastball inside, caught the inside corner, 2-1.
And he really looks good at the plate. You can tell sometimes when a guy takes a pitch if he's seeing the ball real well. He's got a great rhythm. He starts the little body forward and then leans back to get a nice little rhythm.
And they're getting that inside strike for Kamine. That's 2 and 2, both right in the same spot.
Well, this ball's down and in. That's a little bit in, and that's why he's a little bit upset. But Kamine's going to pitch in there, and the umpire's going to give it to him.
This one goes outside, shot toward the hole, and through into right field, past the diving Hesse. And Cal State Fullerton regains the lead.
Nice piece of hitting right there by Kay. You know, it's easy to look in and then be able to go back outside. It's very difficult to look out and come back in. Right here, he's got to be looking for something to hit. With 2 strikes, you just look for the ball. You can see he started anticipating and then got the pitch, the fastball, and just chopped it through.
Now the run scores because Guzman reached base initially on the error by the shortstop. It is an unearned run, but it is a 4-3 Cal State Fullerton lead. And now Rouse will have a chance to hit with a runner at first and 2 gone. Runner goes, throw way off, tight it into center field. Kay on his way to third. He'll slide in safely.
Well, it's all about the element of surprise, and right there, Kay, the catcher, nobody anticipating running. We didn't even set it up, and he's off and going on the first pitch. What I like about this play is, see Kay, he's gone, he's running. If he gets thrown out, you have Rousey to start the top of the next inning. So you put the pressure on. He gets thrown out, but he ends up at 3rd base.
And Morris airmailed that one to center field.
And that shot, that last shot was from the umpire's camera. New look that we're putting in right now in the College World Series. It's a great shot. That was the second base umpire's helmet cam.
That's Ken Aldridge. Excuse me, Henderson has taken over as the second base umpire because Eldridge felt ill earlier in the ballgame, so he has come out. We certainly hope he's feeling fine.
Here's a look. Here's right through the umpire. And it's a great shot. I love it because anytime there's a play at second base or the infield is pulled the ground ball, wherever his head goes, we get that look.
0-2 to Rouse. Fastball up and away. 1-2. Runner at third. A run home. Cal State Fullerton leads.
Here's a look from the umpire's helmet. That's what he's looking at. He's in position. You can see the positioning he's in and everything. That was the steal at second. You see Mr. Henderson right there on top of it.
Strike three call. Kamine gets out of the inning, but Cal State Fullerton puts another one on the board, and they lead 4-3 at the end of 3 for the College World Series. The president was here today, headlining the opening festivities. He threw out the first pitch. Perfect strike, then the fireworks really began. Tulane's Jay Hines got then started with a big double to key a 5-run second. Stanford was down 8-0, but came back with a 7-run fifth behind hitting hero Sam Full, who had 4 hits and 3 RBIs. Johnny Ash's single in the 7th capped off a string of 12 unanswered for the Cardinals. And then starting pitcher Jeff Brooks came into the rescue, retiring the last 3 Tulane hitters with the tying runs in scoring position. Stanford won it 13-11 in a game that set a College World Series record, 4 hours, 18 minutes, and no home runs hit.
I'll tell you what, Fold and Ash had some kind of day. Fold talked about the 4 hits. Ash had 5. He was on base 5 times. Bottom part of the order. Stanford just kept coming.
Blevins will lead off the 4th and tries to bunt his way on.
Laughing. You get some characters in baseball. This kid is hilarious.
Pretty good third baseman, too. Made that great diving play earlier. Fastball is high. Kevin Costner. Well, listen to that.
Hi, Kev.
Our buddy who follows Cal State Fullerton baseball whenever he can. He's a big supporter of the program.
The Cal State Fullerton seats were way up in the stands. Kevin's sitting in the Nebraska section. He said, I'm sitting down there where I can get some good seats. I'm not sitting there. Maybe he is in the usual seats. Oh, no.
Not Kevin. 1-2 to Blevins.
I was going to talk about Blevins. You know, baseball players are very superstitious. This is one of his superstitions. No girlfriend during the season. Baseball will get jealous.
Now, Harold, there's a kid that you need to go talk to. I mean, that's not the way you play. Popped off the right side. Foul. Count right to 2-2.
And here's the other thing I find funny, though, is that it says most noteworthy thing about your hometown. None of them know I'm here. They do now.
I'm not sure what he meant by that. Blevins reached on an error back in the second inning.
He had a remarkable play on a diving play to end the inning. Having fun, that's the key.
Only 1 for 10 in the regionals since he had a slump during the postseason.
Might have to change superstitions. When we get to the postseason, we change that superstition.
I wonder if you can get a girlfriend for the playoffs. Does that work?
That's what I'm saying. Fastball
is slapped to right center. That's going to drop for a base hit. And Blevins is on to lead off the fourth.
Well, Nebraska really keeping a lot of pressure on Cal State Fullerton and Mr. Smith. With no outs, they start their rallies, and we'll see if they can maintain it. Now, they did run themselves out of one, but they've been getting that leadoff hitter on pretty consistent.
The 5th base hit off of John Smith. And Hesse, another Omaha native, will stand in. He doubled his first time up, then he got an RBI as he doubled down the right field line. Got his average above 300. Checking throw to first. Blevins with 9 stolen bases this year at 13 tries.
And that's one of the reasons that Cal State Fullerton went with John Smith, the left-hander. They want to shut down that running game. He's got one of the better moves you will see in college baseball. They actually compare his move to Andy Pettit. It made me think, what? You're saying he's balking?
In the postseason, Nebraska has stolen 19 of 20 base stealing attempts. So he's going to have to be very alert. He's already picked a runner off his second base.
Well, I found it interesting this morning talking with Dave Van Horn, the Nebraska head coach, about their base running philosophy against the left-hander. He said in college baseball, most players just guess. If you guess right, you're going to go ahead and steal that base. He said, but we've really tried to start to learn how to read pitchers. And you have to read pitchers. You can't just guess every time because you're not going to have a high successful rate. But if you learn how to read pitchers, you got a good chance of stealing bases. And I learned something the other night talking to Lou Brock. Lou Brock said, I asked him, why do you like to run against left-handers? He said, most left-handers don't throw the ball hard to first base.
That's interesting. A great throw, and it's called a balk. That is a point of emphasis for the umpires this year. They had him picked off.
And as George Horton said, they call a balk tonight. You will see me. And here it comes as advertised. I thought that was a clean move. From the angle we had on the live field, it was tremendous because I thought that was a very good move.
Ron Sebastian, the first base umpire.
Now here's a look. If he breaks the plane, it's a balk. If he doesn't break the plane, he went a long ways towards home. But I think we'll get a better look right here. See what it looks like. See, that's a good move. Most of the times what left-handers will do that deceive you is they'll curl that knee. And that's what McGregor, Flanagan, all those guys with the great moves. They curl that knee, and it looks like it crosses the plane. Now, if he's saying he went too far towards first base, then maybe he's got a good argument.
Well, doesn't the rule book say that once you break that 90-degree angle, once you start toward the plate, you can no longer throw to first?
That would be the one thing. And here's the 90-degree that Mike was talking about right there. This is the area. If he breaks right in here, that is probably more than likely a balk. We'll see how far he goes. But he starts his movement, and the camera slid with me. This motion is going towards home. That might have been a little bit of balk. But what most left-handers do is they make up their mind before the play that they're going to go to first. And they usually get in trouble with the balk when they look over and see a runner leaning.
Now a runner in scoring position for Hesse. And if you're not a follower of the College World Series, we came out here for years and never saw a balk called on obvious balk moves. It's just something they did not emphasize. And you could get away with just about anything.
Well, they had 3 umpires calling balk on that play, so I think 3 of them might have got it right. Somebody got it right.
Hesse, who is one of the tri-captains for this club, 1 for 1, trying to pick up his mate out at second base. Fastball is high.
I think this is a big at-bat for Nebraska to go ahead. You got to move the man over, keep that momentum going. A big crowd behind you, keep them yelling, keep them excited.
1-1 to Hesse. Blevins down at second. Nobody out. Fastball is high. 2-1. Well, they haven't shown bunt to try to get the runner over. So you feel they're trying to hit it to the right side to advance.
Yeah, and I like the understanding that Smith has as the pitcher. He continues to bust that hitter in to make him have to pull the ball. So often you see a pitcher throw a ball out there and help the hitter go the opposite direction. Stays inside on the right hand.
3-1 as the fastball missed. Smith only 36 bases on balls and over 100 innings worked.
Now, if you watch Nebraska baseball last year, they like to bunt in this situation, but they don't feel like they have to play for a small inning anymore. They've got a little bit more pop in the offense and more balance, so they'll swing the balance.
Swung through a fastball there, 3-2 to Josh Hesse.
We're going to green light on 3-1, and this is what Dave Van Horn's saying right there. You got to let it go, son. If he's going to bust you in, you got to go ahead and take advantage of that. You can't take a wimpy swing on 3-1. 3-1's the one pitch you can sit on, get a crippler, and drive it. Now he's in 3-2, and now you got to swing with anything.
Struck him out.
Little cat and mouse right there. Nice piece of pitching. Great effort on the offensive side.
Good strikeout for John Smith. Boy, he did go on the outside corner. He just cut him down.
And after busting him inside for 5 pitches, to go back outside and be able to locate it, that's a nice job of pitching.
Derek Merrill is up in the Fullerton bullpen. 1 out, a runner at second for Jed Morris. 0 for 1, bounced into a fielder's choice. Nebraska down by 1 in their half of the 4th inning here in Omaha.
See, to me, that's more of a balk than the first move. You can't tell me that a pitcher's not starting his momentum to deceive the runner. That is the definition in the rule book, to deceive the runner. How can you stay on the rubber and spin around and not be a balk? I don't get that. You're not stepping off.
No, that's for sure. Fastball, beautiful pitch on the corner. Called strike 1-1. Well, almost by definition, any throw to a base instead of the plate is trying to deceive the runner, trying to make the best possible move you can to pick him off. Fastball in on the fist is fouled straight back, 1-2.
One of the craziest things about the English language, you can say a certain word that means something else at a different time. Crazy. Interpretation. One of the toughest things to understand.
That's why they have politics.
Yes, indeed.
The tying run at second. That's Blevins. This is Morris to plate.
Well, right there, I was talking earlier when Nebraska had a runner picked off second base. You always come off the base and look to the second baseman. He is not going to put a pickoff play from right field. Here's the umpire cam. Here's where the ump's in, right in position. He's right on top of it.
Cut it a high fastball and missed. Now, when you say he's got to look at the second baseman, that means his third base coach is the guy who's going to help him on the shortstop.
Absolutely. You listen to him and you're looking at the second baseman. When you're walking off the bag, you look to where the second baseman is at and get your distance and then go ahead and set. However far away he is, that determines how big a lead you can get. And then you listen for the coach for the shortstop breaking in behind you. Well, here's a good look. You see where the second baseman is right here. All right? If he starts to creep this way, then you got to creep back. When you're walking off, you take a look. He's not going to pick you off from that distance. So go ahead and get your lead.
6 strikeouts now for John Smith, and he's gotten them in key situations. Make that 5 strikeouts. Check it. How do you off for? Superb statistician collected in on that one, as he will for the next 11 days.
Marty. Great job. Where would we be without his help?
Wouldn't be here. Bolt to shortstop. Stands in, 2 outs, still a runner at second. Nebraska down by 1 here in the 4th inning. The inning started with Blevins getting a base hit, was balked to second, but the next 2 hitters were struck out. ball.
You know, another thing I like about Dave Van Horn, the head coach, he's coaching third base. You know, he's youth and enthusiasm. And a lot of times when you're putting your signature on a program, you got to be at the third base box. You're waving the runners around. You're giving the signs. You're taking responsibility.
Good point.
And he's putting his signature on there. First time I went to college, I went to San Diego State, and the coach was sitting in the dugout, and I went, hold on, what? You're not at third base? What's the deal there? It's a little bit of an adjustment for the players to know that head coach is sitting in the dugout all the time.
It's been a long time since a manager has coached third base, hasn't it?
It really has. Bobby Valentine would do that occasionally. Lasorda used to do that. Sometimes hop out there. But that was more for cheerleading or rallying the club. That wasn't necessarily to run the team. I think it's a big responsibility to coach third base.
Well, Van Horn has certainly done a brilliant job in 4 years, 165 and 69 at Nebraska. Here's the 2-1 foul back out of play, 2-2.
We got 2 balls, 2 strikes, man.
Can you imagine going to Nebraska and saying, you know what, we can make this a baseball school? Probably look at him like, are you crazy?
Well, that's why you take the job. You look for the commitment from the school. I've never seen anyone who resurrected a program or built it from nothing who first didn't get the commitment from the administration of the school to say, all right, we're going to do this. We can be a baseball power, and you're our guy. It's got to start there. And then his skills have to take over with recruiting and coaching. Fastball misses, 3-2.
And I got to give their athletic director some credit because he actually said, I think we can compete in baseball. I need a baseball guy that's going to be dedicated and believes my vision.
Van Horn got his experience at Northwestern State and Central Missouri State. Before coming to Nebraska, he's just had tremendous success. Strike through call, a fastball that looked like it missed under the knees, and Holt is just stunned by called strike 3. Struck out the side after a leadoff single and a ball. Welcome back to the College World Series. It was a special day earlier for Game 1 as the President of the United States, the first sitting president ever, came to the College World Series. George W. Bush, former owner of the Texas Rangers, throws out the first pitch and throws a perfect strike. Then it was handshakes all around. And, of course, all the increased security because the president was here. A lot of things change. We play golf out here. I actually acquired the nickname from Fred Lynn of Sniper. Well, when the President of the United States is around, nobody should use that nickname. So we decided we would not do that. Our director, Scott Johnson, usually calls me that when we got to play golf. And he said, I don't think I'm going to call you Sniper today because this might cause a major problem.
I'll tell you what, they were all over the stadium, too. Pretty impressive. If you've never been anywhere where the president shows up, it's amazing.
Really is. And, you know, some people voted for Mr. Bush. Some people did not vote for Mr. Bush. But when you see the President of the United States in person in your area, it makes you tingle.
It really does. It's a special thing. And you know what I like about President Bush? He is a people person. You know, he came in, he didn't have a tie on, sat up here, had the jacket on, just hung out and talked baseball. It was great.
The Stringfellow. Well, there's another low strike. Fastball inside corner.
Wow.
Well, if they're going to give you that pitch, I'd try to throw it down all night long, wouldn't you?
He got 2 last time, and he ended up leaving the ball out over the plate.
Breaking ball struck him out. Stringfellow is gone.
As a hitter, when you get a pitch called on you that you feel like is not a strike, one of the toughest things to do is shake it off and focus on the next pitch.
Let's go to Dave Ryan. David.
All right, Mike, thanks a lot. Shane Comini's mom, Donna, is here all the way from Honolulu, and you brought a little Hawaiian spirit, which we'll talk about in a moment. How difficult was it for him to fit into Nebraska? As he's told us yesterday, you had to look up Nebraska on the map. You weren't sure where it was when he committed all that time ago.
That's correct. We didn't know where Nebraska was, and so we found out it's right in the middle of the country. Yes.
Obviously been a pretty good fit for him. There's one thing he always asks you to bring with you when you go to the airport, a certain long object that he's got to hit the beaches. What's that every time?
Oh, always a surfboard, of course, yes.
He misses surfing a lot. And what have you brought for us from Hawaii?
Some Kona coffee chocolates and also some shell lace right off the beach of Waikiki.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Aloha to you, too.
Aloha.
Mike, delicious, fantastic chocolate. Bring you some, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I hear
You like that?
you've been so big on sharing since we started working together. The good stuff never makes it up here. Oh, it was nice that his mom could be here, especially now that we're up in the 80s in Nebraska. Must feel like home. Got appeal to third, no swing.
Well, the one thing I like about that play, the home plate umpire asked for the appeal. Nothing more frustrating for the coaches, the hitter, and everybody else if he doesn't ask. He did not go. It's so often the home plate umpire, my question has always been, how can you track the ball and the bat at the same time?
Me too. These starting pitchers have not walked the batter, and now they have struck out 10 combined. That was the fourth for Komine. And his mom loves it.
She is excited. You know, here's a great pitch on the outside half. Again, a breaking ball. Starts off and comes back over. You know, Mike, one thing that I noticed in the first game, the Stanford-Tulane game, is after the players got rid of the butterflies, then they settled into the players that I'm sure performed all season to be here in the College World Series. And that's what's happened with both these pitchers. They've settled down, they're pitching nice, and even the defense starting to settle down, make the plays. But early in the game, very shaky.
Sean Norris, who hits in the 9th hole, the third baseman, struck out his first time up. And the last 6 outs in this ball game have been strikeouts. To further emphasize your point of guys settling down. But that goes against the old theory of second time through the lineup. You know, instead of getting easier to hit, they're getting harder. That's a great thing about theories.
I got to come up with something for that. I was thinking hard.
Pitch broke low. 2-1. I've always felt a lot of these things were wives' tales. They could occur 1 out of every 5 times, and it still reinforced everybody's belief that it happened all the time.
The old unwritten book.
That's right.
You know, baseball's full of that book we haven't seen yet. That's an unwritten rule.
It's so good, why don't they write it down? 3-1 to Norris. If he can get on back to the top of the order for Bacani. Fastball inside corner. 3-2.
Well, and he's really starting to settle down. That's the first strike for a fastball on the inside half to a left-hand.
Right.
Now, if he's able to throw that and still be able to go outside, Cal State Fullerton's in for a long second half of this game.
Strike 3 call. 4 strikeouts in a row for Komine. And we played 4 full. Cal State Fullerton by a run. We've played 4 complete here at the College World Series, and Cal State Fullerton leading the area favorite Nebraska 4-3. Both teams with 5 hits. And Big Red out in force tonight. Rosenblatt Stadium holding more than 23-5.
Well, here's the last strike, Mike, to Norris on the outside half. Now, his plate's getting a little bit wider, and he's been calling the ball inside. This is where the pitchers have to recognize that, and it seems like both of them have. I'm not going to throw a strike as long as he continues to call it for me. And the hitters are starting to get frustrated, and this is when the pitchers can really dominate a game.
And that's why the last 7 outs in this game with the 2 teams combined have been strikeouts. Lacey, the number 9 man, stands in. He's 0 for 1, a fly to center field.
But it all comes with the pitchers. Got to give them credit for recognizing it.
Absolutely. And conversely, when the strike zone shrinks, they've got to recognize that too, and they can't be nibbling at corners.
Absolutely.
After Lacey, we'll go back to the top of the order for John Cole. Dave Ryan, a man of his word. We have, I believe, chocolate-covered macadamias.
Wow.
Dave, what a good guy. What a good guy. And it's a full box.
No, it's not. He's been nibbling. Look at that.
Hey, it's close enough.
It's a full box.
Close enough.
Over there!
Hit toward first. And an easy play, one gone. If you're unfamiliar with the setup of the College World Series, these teams do not cross brackets until the championship game. Tulane, Stanford, Nebraska, and Cal State Fullerton will continue to go at war with each other until there is only one left. The same for bracket 2. Georgia and USC will have their opener tomorrow at 1:30 on CBS, and then we'll be back on ESPN2 tomorrow night for Tennessee and Miami of Florida in bracket number 2. Cole stands in, a strikeout and a home run. And the home run was ripped to dead center field over the 408 mark.
Yeah, that's one of the bigger blasts that I have seen since coming to Omaha for the last 4 years. That ball was a bomb.
His 10th home run of the season. And it gives him 60 runs batted in. There's another one to straightaway center field. Not hit as well, but Stringfellow's going back. It's hit well enough. John Cole, this time slightly left of dead center.
Well, what did he eat for breakfast? My goodness.
I don't know, but let's get some.
Good.
Cole with now 11 home runs on the year.
That's great extension. Assist swing. Kind of a little Paul Molitor. The bullet.
And that was well up on the wall, too.
Again, no wind either.
We are tied at 4. The third solo home run for Nebraska tonight. Cole has 2. And Matt Hopper, who is on deck, has the other. This is Adam Stern, who is 0 for 2 so far. Fly out and a strikeout. The Nebraska fans re-energized as Big Red has come back to tie it. To Stern.
Well, they've got a lot of mileage out of Mr. John Smith.
He's working in the 5th. And he has had some great starts this year. 9 of 16 allowed at 1 or less home run. But tonight, he's been touched for 4 runs. 6 hits. We get all the good stuff that he brought up from the stands this time. I really didn't think we were going to see. Maybe we embarrassed him.
We've been on him so
you
hard.
Think?
He had to come through. Had to.
2-2 to Stern. John Smith.
He's on his 83rd pitch. They've got a lot of mileage on him, and they felt like they were going to kill more than 100 pitches.
That's ball foul straight back. Merrill up again. And George Horton wants to have somebody ready just in case. Smith has not given up hits in bunches, but those 3 solo home runs have done most of the damage, and they will all hit really well. Another 2-2. Shot towards short.
his feet moving on this ground ball. The first one he got a little bit in between. See how he keeps his motion now. He gathers himself, sets himself, makes a nice throw. But watch Rifkin, the first baseman. He comes off and snatches that ball before the umpire has a chance to make the decision. You always cheat because they go, he's out, oh. But it's too late when they say, oh, I missed it. By now, he's already got the out.
And some guys are really good at that, too.
Very nice play.
Hopper stands in. Fastball called strike. Hopper homered his last time up. A line drive into the left field bleachers. His 12th of the year and his 85th RBI. Ties him to the fourth lead with Johnson. See what the pitchers have done so far. Very close. Neither has surrendered a walk. And they combined for 11 strikeouts and combined for allowing 11 hits.
You know, Jim LaFever told me a long time ago the 5th inning is the most difficult inning for the pitcher because that's when he becomes the pitcher of record. Smith comes into this inning knowing if I shut him down, I got a chance for a W. He's struggling to get out of it. The afternoon game, the pitcher's through the 5th inning. It's amazing psychologically what it does to a pitcher.
Well, you have to wonder how much of that is in the back of their mind and how much they actually consciously think about it. I think if you pitch for long enough, it's probably just lodged back there somewhere.
Yeah.
Swung to a fastball, 2-2. Hopper will get his rips.
Well, he's not going to get cheated. You know, we saw the line drive, but watch this 2-1. He knows he's going to get a fastball. Absolutely trying to unload.
With Smith, he'll probably get another one. He does. Struck him out. Smith with his 7th strikeout. But Nebraska, with more power, gets a second from John Cole. And we are tied. Nebraska, Cal State Fullerton. Take you back in time a little bit. Cal State Fullerton baseball history, 3 national championships. We got a couple of people here who are going to remember these well. 84 was the first.
Those are
the second. 95 was the third. And Augie Garrido was the head coach for 3 national championships, and Kevin Costner, a longtime supporter of Cal State Fullerton baseball and award-winning actor and director. Thank both of you gentlemen for taking the time to come up here. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Kevin, I got to tell you, I saw 13 Days, loved it.
Thank you.
It's one of the best ones you've ever done.
Thank you.
It was tremendous.
Yeah, it was a fun one to make, and it was a fun one to look back at as a high point in our history, you know.
I don't want to leave you hanging there. Texas, you almost got back here.
Well, the Stanford team pulled it out against us. They had to win 2 games on Sunday from the losers bracket, and they are a marvelous team and a from behind team. And you saw that again today. They did that to get here.
Well, George Horton spoke really high about you, setting the foundation for the Cal State Fullerton program, and obviously with 3 national championships. What was your philosophy back then?
I think we tried to get the best players we could get to get it started and do the best job of coaching we could do. And we tried to build off the fundamentals of the game and play the game rather than try to play our opponent, because every opponent was better known and supposedly had better players. But we let the game of baseball speak for itself and let our players learn how to play it and win.
Kevin, I got to ask you. I know Mike wants to ask you a question, but last time your arm was sore from the movie Love of the Game.
Right.
You recovered, and what are you working on now?
Well, we're going to put together a movie called Dragonfly. It's going to come out. You know, these movies come out anywhere between Thanksgiving and the late summer. So where it sits, I'm not sure.
What's it about?
Well, it's a love story and loss. And
love story. He's in a love story.
Yeah.
That's strange.
Yeah, well, you're putting the camera on me when I'm down there making out. I couldn't believe it.
Hey, man.
You know, it's a family show.
In the Nebraska section.
You know, that was Mike's fault because Mike said, right now, take that shot.
How graphic was it? You know, sometimes those kisses are, long, slow, wet kisses that last 3 days.
There you go. You remember the line?
He never forgets those lines.
I'm telling you. Carl,
they tailed out more than one guy.
There's 1 and 2 to the hit deep to left. Cole at the wall to get it.
I know you're not supposed to cheer, but that's just the way it goes.
Boy, have we seen some power shots tonight.
He really has worked himself. Get 4-year starter. He's been here a few times coming to watch Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah, just seeing him play is just a great example of college. I mean, who knows who's going to go on to the pros. But these guys work their stuff through college, get their education, and they become better players. He's never going to forget that. He's not going to play a lot. He's going to play longer than that kiss.
Not necessarily.
No, it was a pretty good kiss.
Yeah.
Back on top, Cal State Fullerton by a run. Here's another ball laced to left. Now comes in and makes the catch, a long drive from Guzman. He's the first out here in the 5th.
And you can actually see the players as freshmen, the ones who can hit and they don't feel so well. And by the time they get to be seniors, you see that all turn around. You know, there's some guys out there that have that. I'm not going to name any names, but you can see them grow if you watch them for 4 years.
Oh yeah.
I think one of the joys of college baseball is the fact that everybody is not on full scholarship. It's not a real big-time thing except for the people that play it and follow it.
I mean, the game's a great equalizer. I mean, you know, even the rich kids in your neighborhood, if they couldn't play, they couldn't play. You know, and it's like you can't buy your way onto the field. I mean, the pros sometimes they got these players that they got a lot of money invested in, and they play before another player. But you know, I tell you what, these guys can outlast it, and they fight their way into the big leagues.
Now, how did you two become friends? You know, Augie was at Cal State Fullerton, you were there, or what is the story behind your relationship?
Well, Kevin is the best storyteller, so let's ask him that question.
It's two guys meeting much later in life and find out there's a lot of things we had in common. And Augie's pretty shy about how he had to build that program, but you know, we were pulling in players that were falling through the cracks, and we were pulling in JC players, and he did it the right way. I admired how he taught his kids, because more than anything, I think Augie's a teacher. You know, and this happens to be about the game of baseball. But you know, I think that's when you see a lot of these coaches who come back to the same ones, they're really good teachers of men. You know, not boys, but of men. They teach them how to be men.
Boy, and your friendship goes deep. You know, when you had the premiere for Love the Game, you actually went down to Austin and did a premiere at one of the theaters down there. What did that mean to you there in Austin, being the new coach in that area?
Well, it meant a lot. And it gave us a chance to, the university allowed me to go and be a part of the movie as the technical advisor in the Yankee movie and Yankee manager in the movie, and that took some time. And the gift back, Kevin's extremely generous to his friends and to people. And the gift back was to put on the premiere and appear there himself. And it provided over $400,000 for the General Athletic Fund for the University of Texas men's and women's sports.
Like Texas needed it.
Yeah.
Shot to short.
You probably didn't need that kiss either.
Let's take a look at it. We want you to look at this replay, and as an actor and a director, give your rating.
Oh my God, you really did it, didn't you? Wow, that was pretty dreamy.
You can see that.
You won her she kept the eyes on you too. That was the key.
You know, boys play baseball, and grown men who announce it are still boys too. You guys are like, this is proverbial knothole you're looking
Absolutely.
through.
Absolutely. Two gone here in the 5th inning, run home on Bacani's solo home run. And Rifkin stands in. Big left takes a curveball that misses.
So what happens if Texas and Fullerton's meet?
There's a good question.
We should do that. And when we do it, let's do it here.
Yeah. It's kind of it's an easy answer, really.
Hey, Kevin, now we had the president here today. President Bush was here.
Yeah.
Secret Service everywhere. You played a Secret Service type of guy. What is that like, and how did you get your training for that role?
Well, I put in most of my training for Whitney, you know what I mean?
And it was carried over into that kiss.
It's easy to kind of watch her. You know, she's easy on the eyes and a great gal.
Levin's chasing comes over, it's going to drop.
Everybody ran that. Good.
Well, I was saying earlier, one of the toughest things that happens when young players come to a stadium, the ball's automatically going to curl back when you get to second deck stadiums, and they're not used to that.
Right.
Ozzie, you've experienced that with the players here, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is a tough ballpark because there's a lot of foul territory, and the players aren't used to that either. Most of the college ballparks are a lot narrower down the lines, and so they're not the same athletes that major league players are, and they don't cover the same amount of ground.
Great point.
These guys are really
like
punching, aren't they?
Yeah, we had a wild one this afternoon. This one's getting there too. Yeah.
Rifkin fans to end the inning. It's 5-4. Cal State Fullerton. Thank you, Kevin Costner. Thank you, Augie Reed. Always great to see you guys. Appreciate it. Augie.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike, thank you.
What you did.
Do another baseball
There it
movie
is.
so he can go back to work.
Oh, you guys.
It's the girl next to him that's really disappointed.
You know, I didn't even come with that girl.
You probably did. That's one of the parts.
Thanks, man. It's great to see you. There's the beautiful statue outside of Rosenblatt Stadium, commemorating the road to Omaha for these clubs who fight all year for the right to be one of the 8 teams that get here. And right now we have a 5-4 ball game with Cal State Fullerton leading Nebraska as we go to the 6th inning.
Kevin had so much fun, he's still hanging out in here. Kevin, we got a game to do, okay?
Thanks, Kevin.
That's too funny.
A very pleasant gentleman, always wonderful to see that have been so kind to us. And there's the corn taped to the top of the wall. It's a different way to do it. Swing and miss on a fastball as Johnson leads off the 6th.
That was pretty entertaining, right?
Kevin Costner points to about every award there is. I admire his acting ability, his directing ability, and the fact that he loves this game so much at every level. People with a passion for baseball, you know, that seems to connect with all of us pretty quickly.
Yeah, it sure does. And he's fun. He's just a fun person to be around. Cracks me up.
Oh!
Right.
2-2 to Big Dan Johnson, who has 24 home runs, 85 RBIs this year. In the big RBI along the top.
Mike, I can't see Smith going much longer. He's getting around that 100 pitch count where Cal State Fullerton pitchers don't very often go beyond 100. He's at 94. And it looks like he's having a little trouble locating. We're not going to go with him too long. 95 pitches now.
This one's ripped to right for a base hit. Stern gets it back in quickly. A lead-off single. Dan Johnson, the tying run aboard.
Well, Dan Johnson has really come up big. You've got to look at Mike Nunez, but we talked about him in the open. For Nebraska to win, he was going to have to come up big, and he had struggled a little bit lately, but he has really impressed tonight. He had a double off the wall, left field right there, the base hit, swinging the bat quite well. Now here's a little stall time as George Horton has their whole team conversion in the middle. This gives the pitcher in the bullpen, Nunez, a little more time to warm up.
tune in tomorrow for an MLS day-night doubleheader at 1 on ESPN. The Dallas Burn plays host to DC United. Then at 10:30 over on ESPN2, the San Jose Earthquakes take on the Los Angeles Galaxy. Major League Soccer tomorrow on both ESPN and ESPN2. Nunez continues to win in the bullpen. Smith stays on the hit. Blevins stays in. He's 1-for-2, a single, each one low.
Is when he will go out of his motion and step to first, it gives you a great look at the hitter to see if he's going to show bunt or not, because once the pitcher starts a motion, you got it to square around. And a lot of times the hitter will tip if he's bunting or not, and that's a good way for the coach to see what is the strategy that they're playing with. And that's what the catcher's doing right there. Coming out, controlling the game, giving signs, even with a runner on first base, that we want you to throw to first out of the stretch so we can get a read.
We're in the top of the 6th. Nebraska.
At that flash! At that flash!
Blevins squares around very quickly this time. Sometimes when they do that, they'll pull the bat back and slap out of it.
But they did exactly what you do. Again, that book. They played it to the book.
Snap throw to first this time. Smith already has 1 pickoff in this game. Got a runner off at second base.
At the flash! At the flash! Boom!
Fastball.
Right here in this situation, if you're Blevins, the bunter, the third baseman, Norris, will be crashing. He's going to play in, and he'll crash into this area. He'll start creeping up. And now your only option is to go to first base, because the first baseman is freezing. See how he's holding the runner? He's not going to break immediately. And particularly with a left-handed pitcher, he's got to stick around in case he gives him a good balk move. And so now you've already made up your mind. I'm bunting the ball towards first base.
But Norris coming in from third, if you pull the bat back and try to hit away, that's when the third baseman ends up with his heart in his throat.
Yes.
Because when you're 45 feet away, the last thing you want to see is a baseball coming in.
That's what we
That's two.
That's 2. And that's surprising. I figured he might gamble, but when they're giving you an out, you go ahead and take the out. Particularly after the umpires have called it odd, you know they're looking for it. Go ahead and take the out.
John Smith called for a balk, and Johnson able to go to second base. Same thing. He takes that leg toward the plate.
That's the same body move. He does go a long ways down there, but old habits are hard to break.
Let's check in with Dave Ryan. David?
Well, my Cal State Fullerton pitching coach Dave Serrano going out to talk with John Smith right now, and looks like they're going to make a change. Some very tough news just before the Titans left for Omaha in the College World Series. His mom, Carol, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. She and his dad, Sam, are back home right now in Southern California as Carol rests. Dave wanted to make sure we pass along the word that he really misses his folks and wishes they were here in Omaha. And, of course, the best for his mom, Carol, in the future.
And Dave, he has, of course, on the side of his head, he has written Mom, and we wish her all the best of luck. And I know she was concerned that she was going to ruin his college World Series experience. Now, how is that for a mother's love? You know, she is diagnosed with cancer, and her first thought is her son's happiness, you know, in his profession.
And he really wanted us to reiterate the fact that, Mom, you're not ruining my experience. I love you, and looking forward to get back. We're going to take care of business here while I'm here.
Of course, the big talk around Omaha ever since the College World Series field was settled was Nebraska's first trip under head coach Dave Van Horn. The first time ever they've come to the College World Series. Let's take a look at what we can find on our All Access about Nebraska.
You guys are on the map now. You got a TV crew following you.
Have a seat. Take
Where
care.
Hey, that's our TV crew.
Anywhere you want.
Turn double plays, work rundowns, picks, work on stealing bases. To finally get on the bus, heading to Rosenblatt to play in the College World Series is about as good as it gets for our program. You guys got to find a way to relax and not use all your adrenaline up, getting all excited, up and down, up and down. You have to be able to just blow it off, okay?
Good luck, Coach. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We thank the Nebraska program and all the programs here have been so kind to us with the All Access, taking the video themselves.
Yeah, I didn't. When they came into the meeting this morning, they were running a little bit late, and I was like, no wonder you're late. You got your own TV crew. Then I looked over and I recognized my cameraman, Mark, and I said, oh, that's our guy.
Mike Nunez is the new pitcher.
Mike Nunez, San Jose, California. Compare myself to Pedro Martinez, Billy Wagner. Go after hitters and get them out.
He missed the first 2.5 months of the season. Had soreness in the tendon in his elbow. But he went to the coaching staff and said he was ready. Started against Temple in the regional opener in late May. And spent the 2 games that he faced in the Super Regional win over Mississippi State. So he's trying to work himself back into the picture out of the bullpen. Blevins now at 2-0. John Smith, the starter, has been chased, but he still has a 1-run lead.
And Blevins is a switch hitter. Now he turns over and goes on the left side as opposed to the right. I always found it more difficult to go from right to left than left to right because right is your natural side. And all of a sudden you find yourself over on the left-hand side and you got to try to get your eyes in a whole different position. And most switch hitters are right-eye dominant. And most right-handers are that way too, so it becomes a little bit of an adjustment, flipping your head over. It takes a pitch or two, but fortunately for him, he's in a 3-0 count.
3-0 to Blevins. Nunez has worked 17 innings and walked 11 over that span.
Baseball for the first time, and that's Nebraska people and around the country. You have to be impressed with the brand of ball these young men are playing. This does nothing but greatness for the program.
They have fought back every time they have been put down by a program that is used to coming here. The 11th College World Series appearance by Cal State Fullerton. As you can see, Nunez has got some giddy up on the fastball. In those 17 innings, he struck out 22.
Trying to get a ball, but yank it, trying to hold the ball and get the runner over the third base. I love the cat and mouse between the pitcher and the hitter. The Cal State Fullerton pitchers really have a clue about what's going on. They try to keep that ball away from the hitters in these situations.
Struck him out on a fastball. Nunez comes out of the bullpen and gets a big one.
Well, that's two
facing
times.
a left-hander who should have been able to get the runner over to third.
You're absolutely right. That's two times tonight where they've had a situation where you pitch to make the hitter hit the ball the opposite way as opposed to maybe pulling it. That ball is just thrown right by him. That's some octane on that pitch.
Justin Seeley will come out as a pinch hitter for Hesse.
Ready to go, Seeley! Here we go!
Struck out 8 times already.
62 on the year, with 4 home runs and 28 in.
And Seeley normally starts a game in left field when they are throwing a right-handed pitcher. So for him to come into a game, he's played enough games to have the experience to be in this situation.
how to play at third base. Here's what I'm talking about. The ball bounces away, but his footing is going to slip from underneath him. He bounced out of the cross quick. And Johnson's done a great jump. It would have been interesting, but I don't think he would have got it now that I look at the replay. It's such great camera work. It's so easy to sound like you know what you're talking about.
They're the best, aren't they? That one came right back. Straight at us. Oh, might have a souvenir. That was ruled a pass ball. So the failure of Blevins to get the runner over to third by hitting him to the right side is taken away by the pass ball.
It's interesting. They've drawn the infield in. And earlier in the game, we saw them back or even double play depth. Now they've come in. They want to cut that run off. Understanding the importance of that one run. Here we are in the 6th inning, so the game has changed. Trying to shorten the game up.
2-1 to Sealy. A low breaking pitch, 2-2. Nunez with a pretty good snap on that breaking ball. He's also already shown a good fastball. Nebraska trying to come back yet again. They fell behind initially 3-0 in the first inning. And then scrapping to get back in it. And each time they do, Cal State Fullerton responds by regaining the lead. Right now it's 5-4. Baseball called straight to the inside corner at the plate.
Pretty impressive job by Nunez here, throwing strikes. Gets a fastball on the inside half, and sure enough, that is a strike.
Hey, Murph! No skills!
Just painting the inside.
No skills!
So Sealy is gone, and it's up to Jed Morris, the catcher, who is 0 for 2. Fielder's choice in a strikeout on his night. Fastball for another call strike. Morris has his average down to 342. Until the Super Regionals, he had been on a tear, hitting nearly 400 in his last 16 ball games. On another fastball. And Nunez has been impressive.
Yeah. Just challenging the hitter by moving the ball in and out. So pitching is more location than velocity. And you will see that, we'll talk about that forever. And particularly, you'll see it here in the College World Series. You're not going to find guys throwing 97, 98, throwing balls by you. Right? But location is the key. You'll wonder why a guy can swing through a ball 84 miles an hour. Well, if you put it in a spot that he can't hit it, it's all about location.
Protected swing, just knocks it back on the screen. This is the 5th inning of work Nunez has had this year in the postseason. Nebraska tonight only 1 out of 9, 111 runners in scoring position. Fastball that Tate was able to corral 1-2.
I really admire how Nebraska continues to keep the pressure on. Early in the game, Cal State Fullerton jumped off to a big lead, came battling right back. And every inning, it seems like they've got that man in scoring position to tie the game. So did George Hill. He's already running off the mound.
He's headed for the dugout. Got to turn around and come back and try it all over again on 2-2. And to the bottom of the 6th, Cal State Fullerton clinging to a 1-0 lead.
somewhere down the road you might say, hey, I remember when.
One of the College World Series heroes of the past, catcher Brad Cressy, had the game-winning hit in last year's championship. Today he is playing for the El Paso Diablos, the AA affiliate, for the Arizona Diamondbacks, currently hitting 275 home runs and 22 RBIs. And there are his numbers, and doesn't it seem incomplete without having LSU here and Skip Bertman in his final year after a brilliant career? You know, you always hope for the kind of Kevin Costner-like endings in real life that you get in the movies, and I guess you just don't get enough.
You know, Brad Cressy, after leaving, you get a good look at the left fielder. Justin Seeley has come in after the pinch hit, stayed at left,
and Cole will go back to second base as they have switched all year long with lefties and righties.
I was going to say Brad Cressy last year after he left Omaha in the College World Series after he signed, went to A-ball, hit 20 home runs in a short season last year in the Cal League, so he's off to a pretty good pro career.
Tries to bunt, pops it up, and right to the pitch. Kamini, after giving up 3 runs in the first inning, has given up only 2 since then. And Kay is out on the attempted bunt.
He just didn't get, he had the third baseman back. If he's able to get that ball on the ground, man had a shot.
Let's go, Rouse.
That'll bring up Rouse, the shortstop, who is 0 for 2. 395 hitter coming in. He's had no offensive in there. He's one of those breaking balls on the outside part of the plate for a called strike.
Well, he lined the ball to shortstop, but the shortstop threw away on the double play ball. He hit that ball pretty sharp. Trying to go the other way.
Not a flag. I got
What do you think about a young man on the mound for Nebraska? Has he settled down or what?
He has.
Puka shells? I had some puka shells before.
Oh, I had some. I just didn't know they were back.
We all thought they were so cool. I was just thinking, you know, his meaning for wearing puka shells is probably totally different than the meaning. I was wearing it was just being cool.
That's right. We didn't find too many of them naturally growing in West Virginia when I was growing up. So.
Nor in Oregon.
This one's hit to deep left.
Nice play by Mr. Seeley right there. Settling down, Mike.
Really got the ability and was throwing some beautiful breaking balls. And catching that expanded strike zone when they started giving him that outside play. He struck out 6 men today.
The big stat right there, 0 walks. Very impressive.
Hasn't hurt himself at all. Stringfellow stands in and takes a breaking pitch low. Stringfellow 0 for 2.
And that was his 100th pitch. And a lot of times we can get caught up with pitch count. He threw every weekend. That's it, once a week. That was kind of the rotation. So the pitch counts depend a lot on the individual. It's tough to say signature trait, hey, this guy's going to throw 100 pitches and that's all he can handle. You put that restraint on Randy Johnson, he may never get 3 innings out of him. You know, it depends on the individual an awful lot.
I know a lot of hitters that would love to restrict him to 100 pitches. Slap foul outside of third. I guess once you get to the show, you have seen an awful lot, or you will see the rest of it when you're there. But there aren't many times when you see somebody like Randy Johnson literally strike fear into everybody he pitches to.
Before he throws a pitch.
Up and in. Now imagine that one. Instead of 89 miles an hour, imagine that one at 99. Gets up there ever so much faster.
He's releasing it from the grass instead of the dirt.
Stringfellow swings the bat pretty good. He hit a ball to center earlier.
One pitch right down the middle. Full count to Stringfellow, bottom of the 6th. Cal State Fullerton trying to get something started, up by a run.
Nice young man. I spent a lot of time with him this morning.
Foul away. Ooh. Omaha really embraces this event. I think it's like unlike any other thing I have ever seen in athletics. So this is a special situation because Nebraska is here. But they'll get 23,000, 24,000 people to come out for the night game, even if there's nobody within 200 miles of this area involved in the field. They just love baseball. They love the event. They love their community, and they just come out and show tremendous support. Tonight they have a verified rooting interest with Big Red here.
Even more impressive than that Cornhusker right there. The hat.
Tell you what, I thought those cheese hats were bad, but those corn hats are worse. The third pull throw. Blevins had one sail on him, and Johnson couldn't bring him down. That'll be an error on the third baseman, Jeff Blevins. Made a brilliant defensive play earlier in the ballgame.
Well, the routine play is the toughest play to make sometimes. He just sets himself, and as you see the release, the ball just took off. And that's what you're going to see in college baseball. Routine ground ball. Next thing you know, it opens up a rally. And that's why you have to have patience. You know, Kevin Costner was talking about taking young men and making them men. Those are the things, those are the lessons that help them to grow into a young man, becoming a man, and looking back and the growth of mistakes. That's how you grow, by making mistakes.
And hopefully learning from them.
Absolutely, that's the key. You got to learn.
Yes!
Costner checks his swing. But not enough. 1-1. Costa 0-2 so far. He's the number 9 hitter. Fly out and strikeout. Freshman who's done so well in the postseason. Got his 362 coming to Omaha.
Well, a lot of people say in football, by the time it's ball season, this young man's a sophomore.
No more freshmen.
No more freshmen. And the same thing really applies in baseball. After you get through your conference and you get a chance to be seasoned a little bit, now coaches don't look at you as a freshman anymore. You've been through enough of the learning curve where they consider you
throw over a little closer this time. Certainly freshman baseball players and basketball players seem to have far much more of an impact than freshman football players at the collegiate level.
Most freshmen in baseball, when they get to this level, they've probably been drafted out of high school, and they had a very good chance of being professionals at this point in time if they were elected to sign and play minor league baseball.
Of course, in basketball, they are getting drafted out of high school, and they don't go to the minor leagues. They go right to the big time. Way outside. That one got away from Shane Comine. The native Hawaiian was really settled down after giving up 3 runs in the first inning. Finds himself down by 1 here in the 6th and trying to hold him close.
Give him a badge of honor because he hung in there, getting tattooed early, and has made great adjustments, stuck with his game plan, and was able to get the hitters out. And that's what's really impressive.
Well, that's why he's 14-1 and had 6 complete games this year. Seeing him go deep into a ballgame, no surprise to anyone. And Stringfellow is picked off. Made the false step the wrong way. He is gone. We'll go to the 7th in a 1-run game.
Heading into the 7th inning, Omaha Stadium. Good look at there. 5-4 lead for the top seed Cal State Fullerton over the hometown Nebraska Cornhuskers. NHL Finals coming your way tomorrow on ABC Sports. It's Game 7. Can Patrick Law have another shutout of the New Jersey Devils looking for a 4th Stanley Cup ring? Saturday night on ABC Sports, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Well, for Nebraska, it's a bit unusual to see not only one Canadian player on their roster. How about 2? Right fielder Adam Stern is from London, Ontario. That's near Toronto. And there's left fielder John Cole. Comes out of Canada, Ontario, a suburb of Ottawa, in fact, where the Corral Center is, where the Senators play. Now, it turns out they're housemates and huge fans of the NHL. Adam's beloved Maple Leafs take on John Senators. The NHL playoffs this year, well, it was an intense rivalry to say the least. Adam had the last laugh, though. His Maple Leafs swept in 4 straight before bowing out of the next round to the New Jersey Devils in 7 games.
Thank you very much. They're coming from everywhere. Canada, Hawaii, to play baseball in Nebraska. It certainly paid off. Leadoff man Will Bolt flies to left. There's me there for the first out. Lacey will come up with the bases empty and 1 gone here in the 7th. Nebraska down by 1. They're now down to their last 8 outs in this ballgame. Big-time fastball from Nunez, who's on in his 2nd inning of relief work.
Very impressive, Mr. Nunez.
Just 2.5 months of the year with a bad elbow. No wonder they were thrilled to get him back. Fastball on the outside corner, and that's the pitch that's been called a lot, at least from the 3rd inning on. And Nunez really hit the glove exactly where the catcher Brett Kay set up the target.
And in fair defense to the umpire, if you wanted to have a major league strike zone, we'd be here all night. These are not major leaguers. They're going to have to swing the bats, and they all know that.
There's another fastball and another strikeout for Nunez. 2 gone, and here's the hitting star of the ball game for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, John Cole. In the 3rd, a home run to dead center field, right up against the wall. And then in the 5th, he pulled one a little bit. But the same result, the same spot up on the wall. So 2 shots for Cole. 2 of his 11 home runs have come here in the College World Series. And with 1 swing of the bat, he could tie it.
When you hit a ball to dead center field, that's about as perfect a swing as you can take. That means you have stayed right through the ball and driven. You know, Barry Bonds on his home run tear, he's got 16 home runs to center field.
It's been awesome all year. Before they changed the dimensions of this park, the center field was Death Valley. You hit a 420, it still wasn't going out. A lot of long outs. And if you're wondering, J.D. Drew is the only guy who hit 3 in 1 year for Florida, or 3 in 1 game, then Edwin Muth.
Good-looking hitter, man. That was a breaking ball right there. He stayed on. He's just got great balance, and he's wearing one of those grooves right now. Seeing everything. You see the nasty Craig Biggio-looking helmet, all that pine tar. Look at him stay with this breaking pitch. Drives it, stays nice and easy, doesn't take a big stride. Compact. See how he got that ball out in front of him? Beautiful swing.
Starting tonight, he was hitting .417. He's got 2 home runs and a single at 3 trips. Stern stands in. Now let's see what they'll do with Cole. He has stolen 28 bases this year.
That might be what this conversation is about right here.
Now, Brett Kay, the catcher, has thrown out only 11 of 42 attempted steals this year. But in Kay's defense, he's got a pretty good arm. One of the reasons is Cal State Fullerton is one of the few schools around that does not teach a slide step. They want the pitcher to get the ball up there and to pitch. Let the catcher and everybody else worry about base stealing. We've got a change in pitchers. We'll check it out when we come back. Chad Cordero will be the new hurler.
Mike, I'm going to come back with that. I love that philosophy. I think we should talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, especially young pitchers, you're learning to get your balance and drive and everything else. Why do you want to mess around with the slide step?
Yeah.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for Cal State Fullerton, number 32, Chad Cordero.
This guy.
I'm surprised he's gone.
Mike, look at this guy throwing.
Okay. So you want to do a recap? Is that...
Welcome to Omaha.
Okay. All right. Okay. It's got a little zip, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Welcome back to the College World Series. We are in the 7th inning of a good one. Nebraska against Cal State Fullerton, a one-run ball game. Opening round of the College World Series from Rosenblatt Stadium. Sports Center will follow our broadcast. We are a little bit delayed because the first game ran so long. Record 4 hours and 18 minutes. Ours is zipping along pretty well, but we started about an hour and a half late, something like that. Glad you could join us. The new pitcher, Chad Cordero, excellent closer, a freshman. Just had a tremendous year. He's out of Chino, California.
Well, Mike,
one save in the postseason.
You were talking about the philosophy of Cal State Fullerton pitching staff, where they're one of the few schools that you see that do not have a slide step. I like that. The young pitchers learn how to go, gather yourself, let it go, and you figure out your mechanics. The Boston Red Sox, 2 years in a row now, have led the major leagues in ERA, and they are the only team in the big leagues that doesn't work with the slide step.
Hey, make sure you stop.
There's something to be said about setting yourself, gathering yourself, getting good momentum, making a good pitch in a good situation.
Cordero averages about a strikeout his relief work. And right now, with a runner first and 2 out, he's facing Adam Stern, who was 0 for 3. John Coles just killed him tonight. Will they try to steal a base? He's 28 of 38. Best on the club. Hopper and Johnson hoping for a chance to continue to rally with the 7th.
You know, you see the two guys on the on-deck circle. That's one of the biggest learning things in pro baseball, because there's only one guy allowed on the on-deck circle when you get to the big league. That's a big adjustment. All your life, you've been able to go up there, start getting yourself mentally ready. 2 hitters back. The one in the hole would be Johnson. But now you got to sit in the dugout and then run up there and get ready on the on-deck circle. It's a little bit different. That's how the big leagues do it, to kind of showcase that individual on the on-deck circle. You know, you don't want somebody standing next to Reggie Jackson when he's on the on-deck circle. You want to see Reg.
And Cordero's got some heat on his fastball.
Really does.
10 Nebraska hitters have fanned already tonight.
They broke out some pretty good arms.
Yes, they have.
Wow.
Cal State Fullerton is a complete ball club. Stern with a 2-2 fastball. Took foul.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see Cole run in this situation. If he gets thrown out, start back over with Stern hitting, and then you got the heart of their order with Hopper and Johnson coming after that. With 2 outs, 2-2 count, great situations to start the run.
It's ball 3. It'll be going now with the advance of the 3-2 jump.
And with the left-handed hitter, first baseman Rifkin will move behind the runner at first base, so now he's going to be off and running. But I don't necessarily like this move a lot of times, because now a ball that's in the gap, he scores automatically. Instead of making him earn it a little bit more.
Payoff pitch to Stern, 2 out. Hitting right off the first baseman, Rifkin taking himself into the end zone. Nebraska threatens but can't push one across. They're still down. Talk about a draft for the Twins. How's that? Aren't they darling? Go to the bottom of the 7th here in Omaha. It's a great place to bring kids to watch baseball, and a great excuse for moms and dads to say, well, we want to take the kids to the game. Comine, first time through the lineup, they went 4 for 8 and had 3 runs. Second time, 1 out of 9 and 1 run. The third time we've batted through 7 guys in the lineup. They've scored only 1 run. So he has figured them out rather than vice versa. And he will start with the 8, 9, and number 1 batters in the order here in the bottom of the 7th, as he's trying to hold them close. Cal State Fullerton trying to build on a 1-run lead. Shane Costner will lead off. He's 0 for 2. Able to pitch a lot of innings.
Get over! Get over!
Just in case, we have action with Tom Ott, who has been the closer, and Justin McCullough, who's coming back off of an injury. And they're delighted to have him back, the left-hander out of the bullpen.
Great story.
Norris, twice a strikeout victim. Lines this one back up the middle for a base hit. Jumped on the first pitch. Let's check it over to Dave Ryan. David.
Mike, it really was a surprise to see the Fullerton team start so poorly this year. Just 6 and 7 after an April loss to Arizona State, where the team committed 5 errors. That's when George Horton knew his club really had hit rock bottom. He was very upset with the lack of effort and emotion. Next day at practice, he had the players perform what he called a 9-inning drill to signify playing the entire game more aggressively and with more confidence. The team ran 9 stadiums. Harold knows a bit about that. Up and down the steps of the football stadium on their campus. Some almost passed out, the players from exhaustion, but it really got the point across, and it turned things around. After that, the team played better. It went from 100-yard sprints to 75-yard sprints, 50 to 25. As the team improved, now the Titans have a 9-inning drill every day at practice still. It's down to 9 2-yard sprints or 9 base running drills. It's gotten easier as the team has gotten better. The Titans guys went on a tear after the 9-inning drill started, won 24 of 25, and here they are winning at the College World Series.
Hey, Dave, those 2-yard sprints are killers if you do enough of them, you know?
Tell you what, you can't find them. The worst way to hurt somebody, make them run.
Comine, good pickoff move as Norris had wandered off the bag.
You know, a lot of times you talk about a left-hander having a balk move. Most right-handed pitchers balk more than left-handers. You have to step. He doesn't step, he spins. And so that is really a balk. And that's what Stringfellow was complaining about. And I can see how come he's so close with Ripken. He's got great feet. He buckles his knees and then goes across. And that, to me, is a balk.
That is the 18th time he has thrown to first base tonight.
You get a good look from this area. Now watch this right in here. If he buckles that knee, he's got to go home. That's how you freeze running.
Charlie Huff used to do that with the knuckleball. He's a knuckleballer, so Charlie would bend his knees halfway down there and buckle him because he's such a veteran. The umpires just let it go. He's blocking every time. And they turn in and say, well, you can't steal a knuckleball. You don't need to be running.
There's always a justification.
Yeah.
Bacani in an 0-2 hole, and that last one was a beautiful breaking ball by Comine. Harold, you'd look good in one of those hats.
You know what I want to do, really, is I'd love to come to a Nebraska football game.
Oh, I've been there. It's something. It is something. I believe Lincoln becomes the 3rd largest city in Nebraska on game day.
Imagine.
Ball.
1 and 2.
Bacani has had a good night with the stick. Led off the game with a double. Homered in the 5th. He's played all but 7 innings this season. 7 innings, 61 pounds.
Wow, that's amazing.
But hey, if you're 19, 20, 21 years old, that's what you want. You want to be out there every single second.
Jake Docho from Tulane played every inning of every game.
Still ball, 2 strikes, guys. 1 and 2.
Cal Ripken in baseball. You know, talking about Nebraska football, they played Notre Dame and Lincoln September 6th. If I get that Saturday, I'm there.
I doubt it. Good luck getting in. Of course, what did they call you today? You said the mayor of every city you visit?
Yeah. Dave Dare just said he'd give me tickets.
All right. David Keane. But he'll miss that game. He'll be working for us on Sunday Night Football. I assume you're missing that game.
Got 1 out, rolled up. Make sure 1.
Right.
1 and 2. When the first baseman makes that tag, when the throw is away from the bag, I always thought that was the best way to pick a guy off.
Well, here's a good look at what I was talking about. If he buckles that front knee, you see that buckle right there? That's not that bad. That's a pretty good move. He's just got great, quick feet. A lot of times a pitcher will buckle that knee even more so, and that's deceptive. That was a nice move. He just got great feet.
Hey, Pete!
Well, that's the first hitter that I've seen complain all night. I mean, they've been complaining when they go back to the dugout, but David adamantly complained about this at the plate. He might have a little bit of a beef.
Well, for a right-hander, that's a pretty tough pitch to hit.
Yes, it is.
You got to pull out an 8-iron and go down after it. So that leaves it up to Goosey, who was looking for his first hit. And a pitch out. Nothing doing with Norris, who was stolen 3 bases in 6 tries this year.
Got 2 down.
Bisbee did have a sacrifice bunt earlier in the ballgame. Officially 0 for 2.
Both coaches control the running game, the pickoffs, the throw-overs, and you get a chance to really get a feel for what they're thinking in the dugout.
Oh!
Pitch out, there was a delayed steal. Again, great job by Rifkin, but if you're the middle infielders, you have to drift on every pitch. See, if they start drifting, now the ball's thrown, they need to drift over this way, but by the time they decide to, it's too late. So when you get in the habit of every time the ball's thrown back to the pitcher, you take a couple steps that way and look at the runner, and if he's not going, you stop. But other than that, you've already got your momentum going, and you get there. Cal State Fullerton is taking advantage of the middle infielders not watching the runners. That's who that stolen base is on, not the catcher.
That's right. And yet Morris comes up throwing with nobody yet in the vicinity of second base. You got to have a lot of faith in those guys eventually getting it.
Absolutely.
Runner in scoring position now with 2 out, 2 over the hitter. Tried to check his swing, but couldn't.
So when you get a pitcher like Comine on the mound with a great pickoff move, he's very difficult to run on. So you know you want to advance the runner.
put on the delayed steal, and that's what Cal State Fullerton has done twice tonight.
Looking back to
Got
second
2 down.
base.
I can't remember the last time they had a man in scoring position.
Been a while. They scored 3 in the first, 1 in the third, 1 in the fifth.
Already letting us know it's been since the 3rd inning that Cal State Fullerton has had a runner in scoring position. This young man has really settled down and shut down the pass.
That shows a lot of guts, too. You're up 3 in the first. And then just fight tooth and nail for everything the rest of the game. And here he is still on in the 7th.
That's his 124th pitch of the game. He's leaving it all on the field.
It certainly doesn't look like it's affected his velocity or his control. He still has both. The crowd comes to its feet. They want to see this inning over with. 3-2 to Guzman. First walk issued by Comine, and the first walk of the ball game.
Incredible. For a college baseball game, that is amazing.
Runners at first and second, and we're going to have a conference on the mound.
Coach Rob Childress have a little conversation. I know he's not going to ask him, you feel all right, because every kid in America is going to say, I feel great, Coach.
And while the pitching coach, Rob Childress, visits with his pitcher, we'll get the base runners getting a little advice from Rick Vanderhook.
Not much to say to the base runners with 2 outs, other than if it's hit, run. Run hard. Really, he's probably saying don't get picked off, particularly the back runner in this situation, the runner at first base. A lot of times you try to help your pitcher out any way you can, put a pickoff on, sneak the first baseman behind him, and try to get a pickoff and get an out. Any way you can possibly do it. And I'm sure that's what Rick was talking about with his base runner. Give your hitter a chance to drive you in.
Karopsy has an RBI single in 3 trips tonight. Runners at first and second, 2 out here in the Cal State Fullerton 7th inning.
If you're waiting for that righty-righty, lefty-lefty matchup in the bullpen stuff, that doesn't happen too often in college baseball. They go get the best arm down there. I love that part of the game.
They're not doing the standard things that some guys look at as I'm going to make this move because that's what I'm expected to do. And when 5 reporters came down my office asking me how I went against the book, right?
Absolutely. They go back and tell them it's my program.
That's right.
I've built this thing.
The 2-0 catches the inside corner, 2-1 to Karopsy.
Player doesn't come through, he's not getting traded tomorrow. He's coming back.
Well, they may ask you if you want to join the volleyball team. That's about it. Still got some zip on it.
Yes, he does. 80 miles an hour. That's one of the hardest balls he's thrown all night right there.
Shane Comine, recruited out of Hawaii. His mother had to find Lincoln, Nebraska on the Atlas. Fastball foul away.
That shows how hard he's throwing right there. 3-1 fastball. And you can't get around on it. Very impressive. But I think he knows this is it for me. I'm probably not going to go any further. He's leaving it all out there. And you love that competitive nature out of anybody at any level.
If Karatzi can keep it alive, he's the three-hitter you'd see Rifkin and that guy behind him. You'd much rather have him come up with a couple of guys on and lead him off the next game.
Absolutely. Kamina has been awesome, to say the least, tonight. The way he has battled and control he's shown. 3-2.
Cal State Fullerton clinging to a one-run lead over Nebraska as we go to the Husker 8th inning, 5-4. Cal State Fullerton. SportsCenter coming up next. How did the champs rebound against Iverson? Lucky 7, the Devils and the Avs, the ultimate game in the Stanley Cup. And with interleague play starting, will we get a World Series preview? It is. Coming up right after we've got a little bit to go at the top of the 8th. Neat stuff right now. NBA Finals. Finals for Stanley Cup. Heading to College World Series, going into the heart of Major League Baseball season. Triple Crown still going on.
Play to be able to be on the move. Ball bobbling out of the glove, still stayed with it and made the throw on the dive. Great athletic play. Take a good look at it. The ball's going to kick out of his glove, but he stays with it. Didn't panic and came up with a nice play. That only comes with taking a lot of ground balls. It's the only way you make that play is by working and working and working.
Well, the other way it comes, and you use the perfect word, is don't panic. You see a guy who's scared, he snatches at that ball rather than catches it.
Absolutely. Could get interesting here. It's a big at bat. Mr. Johnson.
Against Chad Cordero, one of the nation's premier closers.
One of the nation's premier hitters.
Johnson with a double and a single at 3 trips tonight. Struck out his other time at bat. And their ace, Scarlos, is up in the bullpen. They say 9th inning closer. You look at Cordero and you say, boy, how can you take this guy out? Of course, you looked at Nunez, you say, how can they take him out?
Yeah.
And then you've got your ace out there waiting in the bullpen. The one thing Scarlos likes to do is come in and pitch it before he is scheduled to be a starter. It seems to get rid of the butterflies and the tension. And Cordero is working the 2nd inning.
It looks like he's down there getting loose, so kind of the game plan.
Started. And usually it's quite unusual to go more than 2 innings with your closer.
Well, the other thing, it's on his day that he'd be pitching a bullpen, so he would rather throw in the game than throw
a low breaking ball and didn't get it.
So he would still be able to come back and pitch on Sunday. That's when his next start would fall. You know, this team, Nebraska, has really been a comeback team. Pulled out 15 comebacks in 7th inning on, and are 13-2 with comebacks in such an area. So they've been very effective. They also had a couple 9th inning rallies to win games in the postseason. So they're used to coming back.
Cordero misses with a fastball. And if you're on a team like that has that kind of ability and has shown that ability, it is a tremendous lift. You really don't get all that upset being down in the 8th and 9th inning. Say, hey, we've done it before, let's go do it again.
Absolutely. It's a great habit to get into. Of course, it'd be nice to be ahead, but if you come back and win it.
Hey, John!
Boy, Johnson certainly think so.
Well, we touched on it earlier. The pitchers have figured it out. We're not going to give you much to hit if we're going to get the call. We just stayed outside.
Well, that's the furthest out we have seen one called, and that's pretty tough on a 3-2 pitch.
Yeah, it is.
And he is steaming, and you could hardly blame him. Blevins with 2 out and nobody on. Strike called. We had mentioned between innings that Paul Gillier had a strike zone that had expanded, it seemed, early in the ball game, but he'd been very consistent the last 5 innings. That one may have been outside the order that he had started doing. Had some derisive cheers from Nebraska fans. They wondered why that one wasn't called. As a team, Nebraska had averaged only striking out 5 times a ball game. 11 men have gone down on strikes tonight. Sensational Cal State Fullerton pitching staff. 1 and 2 to Blevins.
When they're throwing 93 on the chop, it's kind of tough to catch up to. Both pitching staffs, and they've been able to understand the umpire zone and pitch to it. And he's been consistent with his calls. He's never going to call it or walk throw it anywhere else. Remember the bottom of the game.
It's 5-4 at the bottom. Let's get you up on some of the scoring. Lifted early. 2-run homer left field. Then Cole with a solo shot. With a solo shot. Cole comes back 2 innings later. Another bomb to center field. And then the rolls. And it's 5-4 Cal State Fullerton. 4 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors for Nebraska. Fullerton, 5 runs on 7 hits, only 1 error. Pitchers have combined for 20 strikeouts allowed and 1 walk. Cole's been the hitting star. And Bacani 2 for 4 with a solo home run for Cal State Fullerton. Now we're in the bottom of the 8th, and Nebraska trying to protect that 1-run deficit and give themselves a shot in the 9th inning.
It's amazing, Mike. 1 walk. 20 contact.
Just threw his 131st pitch. Check swing, foul.
I'm a little surprised that they came back with him because the bullpen was hot, ready to go, and the situation presented itself with Rifkin and also a left-handed shortstop, Rouse coming up. So you had a couple lefties.
Foul back at play, 1 and 2.
But again, I reiterate what I said earlier, the college baseball game they don't think matchups. They're not sitting there going, my right-hander against your right-hand hitter, my lefties against your lefties. They're going with the best pitcher they feel like at the time. And right now, it's hard to say this young man isn't the best pitcher on the staff.
It's been all year. This one's hit. Johnson shows you not only can he hit it, play the first base.
Well, a lot of times, Mike, when you dive, you overshoot the ball, you dive over it. He dove and he stayed in the ground, and that's why he was able to field this ball. He actually gets a hop that comes up, but it's easier to take your glove up to field the ball than to go down and field the ball. Watch how he stays down, and then he comes back up to get the grounder. Great job of getting his body in the right position and came up with a nice catch.
Kay stands in, a little excuse me swing for strike 1. This is hardly the high water mark for Comine. Threw 162 pitches in the Super Regional game against Rice. Breaking
get over!
Another good play by Johnson.
back. That's a nice little catch. And the umpire right on top of that. Great call.
A little leather from the cleanup hitter here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And now to Rouse. Shot with that one as Kumine took something off of it.
Yeah, unless he tries to shoot that ball to left field, he's not going to have much success because I don't think Komine's going to come inside.
No, he's been outside, beautifully outside to Rouse all night long.
And like we witnessed last inning, the umpire is going to give you that ball outside. There is no need to even think about going in.
And that time it was smoked, just foul. Yeah, I don't think he meant to come inside either. I think that was
You're absolutely right. And that's a sign of fatigue. He has not missed all night by that much. And 138 pitches is a good sign of fatigue, too.
And you can see how quick that bat is for Rouse. He got a pitcher to turn on. He's in an 0-2 hole, though, with 2 outs and nobody on. Probably not going to see a better pitch tonight to hit. Kumine giving Nebraska a chance. They will be able to go to the 9th. He has found 9 through 8 innings. The Huskers down by 1. Back at the College World Series, we go to the 9th. 5-4. Nebraska with 3 outs left, trying to win that first-round game in its first ever College World Series appearance. There's Michael Lynch, his dad George behind him. We talked to them earlier tonight about what a great thrill it was to be here and root for the Huskers. They're still here. And our special guest, Kevin Costner, is saying, hey, you caught me before. Don't do it anymore. And that young man is hoping his mates can come through with at least one to tie here in the 9th. They'll be facing Chad Cordero. Saros is in the bullpen and loose. Seeley came on to pinch hit. He is 0 for 1.
Well, we asked George Horton this morning, and Dave Serrano, the pitching coach, if you have a situation in the 9th inning, Cordero's been in the game a little while, will you go to Saros? And he said, I'll turn to George and ask him what to do.
Well, he said it's a feel thing. You know, they're not going to go in some pattern. Just get a feel for it. Well, that was a bad hack by Seeley that time.
Well, the way he's throwing the ball, it's awful hard to take him out of the game.
You would think. Fullerton bullpen has been outstanding. That's been an adjustment.
A lot of times it's how the catcher presents a pitch also. If he catches that ball, there's no telling what might have happened. And that's why Kay is upset with himself. It'll be interesting to see how he sets up. He sets off the plate again because they've been getting that pitch.
2-2 to see it.
Not too often you can go through a college pitching staff and see 3 guys come in like these guys.
And the rest of the staff hasn't showed up yet. 13 strikeouts, a season high for Nebraska. And you just saw what the Fullerton bullpen has been able to do. They have stopped. Another left-hander, Morris, is up. Bolt, the shortstop, will follow. He's the 7, 8, 9 man in the order. And Morris 0 for 3 tonight.
He's got some power. He gets the ball in the inside half.
Best player can use for a college strike, 1-1. Cordero, the true freshman who's had such a great season. Another big swing and a miss. Cordero 13 saves, an ERA of 1.53.
So what impresses you, Mike, is if you just give me the ball coming after you. You gotta like that from the freshman. No fear.
Split.
I'm really impressed with how both teams have figured out the umpire zone and said we're throwing it there. That doesn't come from a coach.
No, you can that just missed inside corner at the knees. It's an impressive-looking pitching staff that Cal State Fullerton has trotted out there. Swing and a miss, strike through. The winner of tonight's game advances in the winner's bracket. The loser goes to the loser's bracket. It's so tough to get back out of it. Stanford already in the winner's bracket, coming from behind to beat Tulane today. We'll start bracket 2 action tomorrow. Georgia and USC in the afternoon, Tennessee and Florida, or Tennessee and Miami tomorrow night. 1 out left. And Will Bolt, the shortstop, stands in. 0 for 3. Cordero, 1 strike away from shutting it down.
Great piece of staying alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Just reach out and get a piece.
Oh, so often you watch a game, looks like they're down, dead, and out. Has changed immediately.
He knows the next pitch, the guy may make a mistake, he went 400 feet.
Really, never over till it's over.
Thank you, Yogi. Nice work right here again. Rolled slowly toward third. That's it. Cordero, Williams in the bullpen. Impressive game for both teams.
It really was. Just the pitching, the way he came back and battled. For the Cal State Fullerton pitching staff, 14 strikeouts tonight, and they figured out the umpire zone and really exploited it.
And they showed their ace to start on Sunday. That really paid off.
Well, they felt like they weren't able to win with Smith, not going to win the tournament.
Entertaining game here in the opening round for a sellout crowd at Rosenblatt Stadium. More than 23,500 people on hand tonight. Nunez and Cordero 4 scoreless innings. The final score, Cal State Fullerton 5, Nebraska 4. Coming up next, Sports Center. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Harold Reynolds and Dave Ryan and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Omaha. Once again, the final score, 5-4, Cal State Fullerton. Good night, everyone.